Hello, welcome to another episode of DrawBomb. We're here.
Hello there.
We're doing the thing.
We do that. We do it like occasionally,
Once a week is about the right amount.
It's a thing that we do on occasion. Okay.
You may not know that.
Yeah.
So one thing that's different about this episode that you may notice, there is a third video window in the corner, right up there.
I was look at that.
We have a guest this week. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Wait a minute, I'm not below you. I'm not in with you guys. You guys got me in there. I thought you guys were gonna draw stuff on my face and stuff.
Oh, we considered it. Yeah, we were gonna like. I was gonna give you like devil horns or a goofy mustache.
Let's never say never.
Draw me like a crown.
Like, oh, that'd be cool.
There you go.
Let's see, can I draw myself a crown?
Ooh. Give yourself a little Basquiat.
You would be able to, because you're like on the canvas. There you go.
That's true.
Let's get some colors going. It's gonna be. I feel like I'm probably right about here. That's not gonna work. I forgot I left on the weird.
I think you may also be a little zoomed in. I don't know. If you press Z.
I zoomed way out. Because
Okay. If you press Z in this app and hit fit to window, that'll help kind of give you the whole shebang.
Yeah.
So Ian, who is this mystery man
This
on our
is
show?
Dr. Soundcheck, aka Mark. We'll probably interchangeably we'll mostly call you Mark, I think.
I'm gonna call you Dr. Mark Check.
Okay, Dr. Mark, it is.
I have a PhD.
Oh, well, we'll still call you Dr. Mark because I've called a lot of people doctor who didn't have PhDs. It's kind of a thing. But we've been really hanging out a lot, like in the past couple months, playing Phasmophobia and things like that. But I've known you for a while through Aaron, who we've had on the show previously, friend of the show, good friend of the show, guest.
That's true.
And we're happy to have you on. So welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I was like, this is something different. I don't get to do anything like this ever. I was like, I'm gonna hang out with these guys.
Yeah, come join. Which you did.
I did. I'm actually gonna put this out in my Discord server because I realized I didn't do that yet.
Oh snap.
Already in the chat, we have somebody. Neuro Nico says, "Hey, what's up? Not much. What's up with you? Welcome to the show."
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining in. It says here that we have a couple of names. We have a new name in the new BFFs thing. Did Anayume join us
3 hours ago, they
3
joined
hours
us.
ago? Okay, so
They're fresh.
I've also played Phasmophobia with her. She's also
Nice.
a friend of Mark's. So you're bringing the whole family along. Which
Welcome.
All right. I have now said that we are live in my server.
Oh snap!
Mark, can I have you turn up your audio just a teens, if possible?
Not a problem.
Perfect.
I know, I'm probably cutting in and out. I'm still using this microphone is not the greatest for just the chatting of chatting.
Man.
Sounds pretty good. I just don't have the best audio setup, so some things come in quiet
I have a
sometimes.
feeling that this is oddly, probably weirdly low. It is not actually. Hold on. Gotta go under the desk.
Oh snap!
Goodbye. I hope you return.
Yeah, when you come back, you should
hear-
do like the.
We hear a scream, and then the rest of the show, he's just gone.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, we're gonna need a new Mark.
Gonna call the police.
Is that any better for you guys?
That is better. Whoa, you got your little echoey
got the
thing
guy-
going on, but it is better. Hello,
Alright.
hello.
Can you say, and ladies and gentlemen, now introducing.
That's a no.
He said, yeah, it was a little far away.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, now introducing.
I love it. That sounded exactly like I hoped it would.
That's great.
Actually, this will sound even better.
Whoa, he's on a walkie-talkie now.
Guys.
Oh my god. Wait, what would you say? Would you say, shit, I can't think of anything like radio announcer. And 8:15 on the PM Eastern. Yeah.
Up next, we got Cardi B with Wet Ass Pussy.
That's right.
We just had Aaron, subscribed. Thanks for subscribing.
Hey, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. We should, anytime somebody subscribes, we try and do a little doodle for them at some point during the show. It only feels right.
Does feel right.
So if you got any drawings you want to see us do once we're done with this initial picture, let us know. We'd be happy to oblige.
Also, new subscriber, Dr. Soundcheck. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Be?
I don't know, some guy. Sounds like a jerk.
Yeah, what a loser.
Sounds hideous.
Yeah,
I hope he unsubscribes.
Yeah, please. God.
No, but thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Gosh, well, how have you fellas been this week?
I've been pretty good.
That's excellent.
Overall, things have. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I've been staying up till like 4 o'clock in the morning playing Deep Rock Galactic with you for the most part this week.
We've been doing that pretty consistently. It's been
Yeah.
fun.
It is a good time, although it's frustrating, and we'll probably dig more into Deep Rock Galactic later.
Is that a pun that you just did? I
Oh,
told you
shit.
to review all puns with me before you just go rogue.
I'm so sorry, that one slipped past my my scanner.
Don't let it happen again.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, but-
Mark, how have you been?
Not too bad.
Yeah, you just been having a chill week.
Yeah. So far, it's been pretty decent. Look, I gave myself a crown. We're looking
Hey,
good.
look at that. That's
A beautiful
perfect.
crown.
What layer is that on, so we don't erase it by accident?
I guess it would be on whatever layer this is. So you know what? I'll do the thing. I'll throw an extra layer on real quick.
I did give you 3 layers that you can use. I have them under Dr. S1, 2, and 3.
Oh snap!
If you would like.
For the audience.
Oh, there it goes. I see. Okay.
Anayumi says, heck!
Space
Which
Park.
one am I on this? Because it won't. You know what?
If it's giving trouble, feel free to use whatever layer you'd like, but...
Yeah, it looks like you drew the crown on top 1, which is we usually don't touch that layer too much. Anyways, that's for like things we try and throw on top of everything else. So if you
Gotcha.
just, I'm actually gonna call that layer crown.
There
This
you
is
go.
The
Okay.
crown on DVD.
Now I have a crown. And then, so if I want to draw just on that, then I would just click on crown
Yes.
and then do all the things there.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Cool.
I heard you mention the crown on DVD, Brandon. Is that related at all to a TV show we've been watching this week?
Yeah. I've been watching Auntie Donna's House of Fun. Is that what it's called?
I believe it's Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House.
Oh, would hate to
Those
be wrong.
qualitative
Yeah,
adjectives.
I'm finding they have a pretty big following on YouTube, but I only just found out about them. But it's a good show. It's funny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Seen that.
It's very new. I think they added it like last week, but
Yeah, I
was
think
playing-
even less than that. I think I added just like a few days ago or so.
Oh wow. So yeah, it's pretty fresh. But I had a friend and like we were playing games together, Brandon and I, and this friend all of a sudden like texted me and was like, "Have you checked this show out?" And I was like, "I never even heard of it." And he said, "It's kind of funny." So I was just like, "That's not a ringing endorsement, but I'll give it a look-see."
Yeah.
So I watched it. It's only 6 episodes for the first season, and I ended up really enjoying it. So it's like a weird sketch comedy show with a bunch of Australian dudes, super goofy, super weird. It's got like a unique sketch comedy format, which I'm surprised I haven't seen done before. It's like the whole the actors are characters in the show. And they all live in this big house, so like each episode will start with they have a theme, like a sort of plot line that the episode's gonna follow, and then sketches all sort of lead into one another, being related to like what the characters get themselves into, or sometimes they'll sit down and be like, "We're watching TV," and then they'll do like a random TV show. But it works. It's very funny. It's just a really enjoyable show, and it has pretty good sketches in there too.
It's one of those kind of like absurd shows. It's like Comedy Bang Bang or like Tim Robinson, I think should leave. Kind of on the same, just like Tim and Eric, like just like weird you out type humor, but it's good.
Yeah. And Aaron Rabanastra says they have a YouTube channel and a podcast, both of which are great. So I didn't know about I knew about the YouTube channel because you told me about it, Brandon, but I didn't know about the podcast. But I'm probably gonna listen to that because I just find their accents so darn charming.
Boy, it's gotta be nice to be like Australian or English because people just think you're like, you know, charming right off the bat. Just you know, just by default.
I had like an RA in college who I think hooked up with a British dude, and she was just like, that voice. I just, you know, what could I do? I was like, okay, well, shit, I'm jealous.
It's funny to me, not to bring like class into things, but it's funny how like kind of the Cockney accent is often like sometimes people are like, ooh, charming, but like I believe over there that's like kind of like a lower class type accent, or it used to be. So it's just funny how that's all lost on us because we're just like, ooh, exotic.
Yeah, oh, a different voice. But oi, mate, you ever been a chav? It's the chavs that get looked down on. In it, apples and pears going up the stairs and shit.
Wow, you've been practicing, I can tell.
Yeah, you know, oi. I've been practicing me chav, mate.
Hard to believe you're not from England.
I'm a regular Don Cheadle in Ocean's 11. That's me. It's a pinch. We gonna be in rubble. Bonnie Rubble trouble. That's a scene.
Oh yeah, I actually do remember that for some reason.
Yeah, and Anayume says British accents are so fun. I'm quite a fan of the London accent, and then because I started doing my chav,
you've scared them all away.
I've scared them away, which is fair. I mean, if America hasn't scared off everybody already, this will seal the deal. I think.
You've ruined the already rocky relationship that we have ever since we left their
union
country. Yeah.
Ever since we had that weird whole thing with the European Union, you know?
We stopped being colonists.
That's right. And we started being, well, no, we kept being colonists. We were just, America just started to become colonists under their own
Exactly.
They were culinary experts. They were chefs. I'm done. Let's move on.
Boy, it was such a successful bit, but I guess we'll move on.
Aye, Jive, mate. What you mean it's a bomb? Oi. This mirror, if you look at your phone...
No, you're right. We should move on.
You can see your face in your phone, and it's a black phone thing. You can see your face in. It's like the mirror is black, mate. Alright, it's a dark reflector. I'm done. No, seriously, let's actually move on, please.
Hey, when's the next season of Black Mirror coming?
I don't know.
I feel like there's no seasons. Yeah, me too. I feel like there's no seasons of anything coming, like, now that, after this year. I imagine not much is getting made. I feel like it's going to go dry, and we're just going to have to, like, wait to get movies and television again.
Yeah, question the public, whether the public mood would suit a 6th season of Black Mirror. As he said, he's working on comedic projects. So the dude might have just, like, I've also sort of felt, like, drained of doom and gloom, because like Black Mirror is very dystopian and a bummer.
It's a little too on the nose these days.
Yeah, it's just sometimes some folks might just be like, I'm done feeling bummed out. Can I just watch some good wholesome television?
Yeah.
And that's certainly my mood as of late.
Yeah, I just started rewatching. I rewatched the whole first season of Umbrella Corp. And I'm now started season 2.
How is that show?
The Umbrella Academy. It's awesome, honestly. I kept getting into, like, I started watching it because I was in a real big, like, superhero kick.
Right.
And I watched the whole first season at work one day, or like in 2 days, just like sitting at my desk on like a Sunday, nothing was going on, just keeping it on my tablet, sitting on my desk, and it was cool. I think it was right after I watched all of Jessica Jones, but rewatched it again just recently, and then started season 2, and it's awesome. I was not expecting this is where they were going to take it, and they fleshed out the characters so well, and I was like, this is amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
I'll
one of
have
the
to
shows
check
that's
it
been
out.
on my radar.
I've been considering it as
didn't-
well. I finished The Boys, and somebody recommended that as another kind of like weird superhero take, and I'm like, I'm in, but I haven't watched it yet, so I guess I wasn't that in, but I am now with that great review.
I just today finished catching up on Archer. So I have a void in my life because that was like the show I was binging. So I have to figure out what to watch next. Have you guys been caught up on Archer at all?
No.
I haven't watched Archer, I don't think, at all.
I've watched a lot of it,
man.
but I'm many seasons behind.
I was, I believe 2 seasons. No, wait. I was like 5 seasons behind on Archer before I like started watching it this most recent go around, and it's a weird show. Are you guys aware of what Archer sort of? Well, I guess you wouldn't be so much, Mark, but because you haven't watched it, so I do highly recommend it. It's on Hulu. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a really good show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah, it's definitely like hostile work environment. The show, and basically what it is like it's, and this is more for the audience than for anyone who's listening in on this call. I usually try to explain things so that anyone can just jump right in. But Archer is a show where it's like a cartoon by the guys who made C-Lab, Frisky Dingo, and it's like set in a spy agency, so it's like kind of going after like James Bond vibes, but like if all the characters in James Bond were like, ow man, stop it, when you like hit them with a gun bullet. It's like basically just like a farce on spy movies and tropes and things like that, taken to like as logical extremes as they can, which really works well as a formula. And then Danger Zone, that was Ravenaster saying that. Anayume has also never watched Archer, and Ravenaster says that we're currently living in the newest season of Black Mirror, which they are accurate. That is correct. But yeah, so the show is going. It was very strong, and it kept going. And then I want to say season 5, you could tell like they got tired of doing the spy thing, because in season 5, the characters, well, they changed the name of the show from Archer to Archer Vice, and they become drug runners for that season. It's like. Yeah, and so like that happens, and then the next season they go back to being spies, and then the season after, like they've clearly been done with the concept of doing spy shenanigans for a while, because season 7 then they turn into a private eye agency. That's the word I was looking for. They become a private investigator agency, and they move to LA, and it becomes like a whole like 70s sort of noir cop like thing going on, where like they're investigating like these actresses and like high-powered Hollywood elite people. And then season 7, and this is not a spoiler because it's been known for a little while, it ends with Archer in a coma, and then for the next 3 seasons after that, Archer's in a coma the whole time, and then each season is like a new genre. So the first one's like 1930s Prohibition era private investigation, sort of like legit noir, like Maltese Falcon type shit. And then the season after that is Archer Danger Island, where it's like basically what was the name of there's like a show like Curse of the Golden Monkey or something like that, where they're like straight up just ripping off that, and they even like make a joke where they're like, we're looking for an artifact, maybe it's made of gold, maybe it's a monkey, and then the one character turns to the camera and they go, no, we're not looking for a golden monkey, and like the camera like zooms in. And then after that, they like that series ends and leads directly into it becoming like a Lost in Space type Star Trek-esque, like closer to Firefly, I guess, type show. And they do that for a season, and then the newest season is Archer finally comes out of the coma, and then they start resuming spy shenanigans. But since it's been 3 years, there's like a bit of a time gap. And I just finished watching that today, and I didn't realize I was on the last episode until they moved me right to Rick and Morty for some reason on Hulu. They were just like,
It's always so jarring when you're like, all right, another one, after you've been like sitting on the couch for like hours, and then all of a sudden it's just like, would you watch this instead? You're like, what? No!
huh?
I wasn't ready!
I thought I had more time.
Yeah, exactly.
So like the newest season is interesting because it's a time skip, and like all the characters have like their lives have changed dramatically since it's been 3 years since Archer's been in a coma. But it's weird because obviously they made these changes because I feel, and like the guy who was show running the show, Adam Reed, he's like not even in the show as like as heavy of a role. But I guess they like, I don't know, it's weird because I don't think they're having fun doing the spy stuff anymore. And then this season was their chance to sort of like reset the clock because all the characters have different things going on in their lives. And then the course of the season is like them, like Archer slowly like corrupting them and bringing them back to like their old ways. So like by the end of the series, it's almost like a reset, like back to status quo. And I was like, what the fuck, you guys just, you did the thing. Like, why would you go against that? So it's an interesting season, but it's fun. It's still good stuff.
It's a long-running show. I do admire their like attempt, whether I don't know how successful it is, but like to shake things up and do things different rather than be Simpsons and go for 30 years as the same thing.
Right. I like the new season. I think it's very funny. It's still classic Archer stuff. I mostly just feel bad for the guys who are still making it, like writing the show and stuff like that, because like you gotta be tired.
I'm sure they're happy to have a job, you know, like.
That's true.
I might be wrong, but I mean, in that industry, it's like you go until your show doesn't go anymore, and then all right, time to find a new job.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I guess they're probably thrilled to be able to just keep working.
I've seen a couple episodes of Archer here and there, but I never really like sat down and like watched it. A buddy of mine's real big into it. I know that.
Oh yeah.
It's a fun show.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, I was like like when it first came out and I was like watching it in college, I was a huge fan. I still am, I would say. But it's also one of those things where it's just not as fresh as it was before.
Yeah.
Which you can't do after you're doing like 11.
It'd be really impressive if they pulled it off.
Yeah, seriously. So it's funny too because like they even start to like make fun of their own inside jokes, and like they'll just like one character will do like will make a reference to a running joke that they had going on like for the entire show, and then the other characters would be like, we're not doing that anymore. Dude.
So they're kind of doing like what Family Guy's been doing, right?
Yeah.
They're starting to break the fourth wall and like make fun of the fact that they've been running so long.
Yeah, exactly. Which Family Guy has gotten a lot better for it because like just the lack of like caring and trying to like take itself seriously that Family Guy's been doing. The newest like 3 seasons or so of Family Guy has been a lot more enjoyable than a lot of the previous seasons, which is interesting.
You just recently watched the entire thing, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It was a good way to get art done because I didn't have to like pay attention.
That's a bold move. I don't know if I could do it. I don't hate Family Guy, especially the stuff you showed me, but it's just I'm Family Guy fatigued.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like if it's on, I'll watch it, but I don't think I would ever go out of my way to put that on.
Right.
I feel you. That's fair. And I was like, when I started watching through it again, I was kind of like, is this like the best choice for me? And you know what? By the time it was over, like when I hit the last episode, I was kind of like, fuck.
It became comfort.
Yeah, I have to find something else to like watch now, and I have to like readjust my mindset for like a whole different show.
Yeah, I can see that.
But Umbrella Academy is the most recent thing you've watched.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
Yeah, that's the most recent thing that I watched, other than I just finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
How's that?
Yeah, how is that?
First season, second season, great. Third season, I don't remember. Fourth season, I'm not sure if I even saw all of it or any of it. I watched it really like religiously when it first came out, and then I fell off at one point and didn't know if I ever picked it up. So the last time, which is more recently, I sat down. I was like, you know, screw it, sit down. I'm gonna watch it again. But I was like, I'm just gonna start from season 5 because I think I've seen most of what happened with Ghost Rider. There's a season where Ghost Rider pops up, and it was like this. It was like a kind of. It almost felt like it was a spin-off, but it was still the same kind of all the same stuff.
Okay.
And I watched this season, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Season 5, all right, dope. This is pretty badass. And then all of a sudden, I get to the mid-season finale, and I was like, wait a minute. I know everything that's going on right now. I didn't realize that I had like maybe watched 2 or 3 episodes in the middle of season 5 and missed the entire leading up to this point because I was like, I don't understand. I didn't in my head where I jumped in was enough of just like a weird reality spike to be like, all right, that works out. But then I watched up leading up to this point was like, oh wow, there's a lot of shit that happens that leads to this point. And then it's like, then I kept going. And the whole last season was real cool. It had a lot of just all over the place, like time zones and stuff like that. So, you know, there was episodes that seemed like they were more 90s centric or 80s or 60s or 70s, and it just kind of fit with like the way the show was. And I was like, this is kind of cool.
Nice.
I have not seen a single episode of the show, but I do remember I sat down for breakfast the one time, and I turned on the TV, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was on TV, and I just, like, of the 10 seconds that I saw, Patton Oswalt was holding a clone of himself, or some, like, maybe an alternate universe. Like, Patton Oswalt was holding Patton Oswalt held up at gunpoint, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. I just changed to something else.
I'm happy that you got to be part of that show.
His character's really good in that, actually.
I was actually mostly happy that Patton Oswalt, because like I imagine that's like a dream role for Patton. Like, him being such the comic book nerd he is, like he must have been thrilled to be like, you're gonna have me on as a character.
He's working on an animated series right now. I don't know if you heard about this, but
which one is that? I may have.
It's about MODOK, the guy, the big head. He's like, I think he's the villain of like Fantastic Four usually. But it's like a family comedy, and it's like MODOK with his wife and raising his son. But it's like
that's hilarious.
Patton Oswalt, I think, is making it.
I love how like they've so oversaturated the market with like superhero shit that they're doing like WandaVision now, which is like a weird like 50s style sitcom with drama with Kitty from that 70s show in it, and like I like how they're like, okay, we've gotten people used to the idea of people with superpowers. Let's just get weird with it, you know?
This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for, because the cinematic universe stuff for me really just tires me out and I lose interest. So I've been like, okay, it's comic books. There's a million B-side stories that are super interesting and weird. Make some of that stuff, and now it seems like they're starting to.
Yeah. So I'm really pumped for that, like this stage of things where they're just kind of, you know, getting weird with it, you know, getting loose.
Speaking of some of Disney's cinematic universes, I was watching the newest episode of Mandalorian tonight.
Oh.
And I won't spoil anything, but so I was watching it while I was working out, and in order to hear what was being said over the sound of my own pants and heavy breathing, I turned on the subtitles. And in the newest episode, this isn't really a spoiler, but he's helping transport these frog people. And sometimes the subtitles on, there's one scene where the one character screams, and they're not like speaking in any language, it's just like frog noises. But the subtitles then said, "Screams in frog." And I just felt like that was very funny. And I wanted to get like a screenshot of it. I did not, but...
Do you guys... This is a very polarizing topic I found, but do you guys watch with or without subtitles when you watch TV shows?
Usually without.
TVs, I mean... Nah, I'm a subtitles guy.
You are, okay.
And I'll explain why.
I'm happy to have somebody in my court. Thank you, by the way. Like, I'm a subtitles guy too. Very recently, a convert, but like, I want to hear your reasons for it, because I'm sure they'll be very much my reasons as well.
Mine stemmed from being someone who methodically watched movies and watched the same movie over and over again for a very long time. Spaceballs. I've seen Spaceballs so many times that there was just one day where, like, you know, that's a movie I'll put on at night when I kind of want to go to bed. But I realized, like, sometimes you got to be quiet. Like, I don't want it to be loud. I want to be able to just kind of lay in bed. So I put subtitles on, and then I started realizing that I was missing dialogue. There was things that were being said that I never heard, or I misheard something. So I kind of just got used to that. And there have been times where I've watched, I mean, it just, everything I can put subtitles on, I put them on. I just, for me, it's better. It's not distracting in any way, because I'm still hearing things. It's more of a confirmation on what I heard.
Yeah, because like a lot of times, like you'll say, like a character will say something, and like sometimes it'll kind of come out garbled, or I won't really understand it, and like it's nice to just be able to be like, oh, like if a character says a word that sounds a lot like another word, and it could easily mean a different thing. Like if I have the subtitles on, I can be like, oh yeah, they did that. But also, like, for instance, in Archer, they have like scenes where, like, in Archer, a big running joke is like tinnitus, and like firing a gun really close to somebody's head is gonna make them go like temporarily deaf and like do long-term damage to your hearing. It's that kind of show. So like in the one scene in like Archer Dreamland, which is when they're doing the 1930s Prohibition era detective noir thing, they like intentionally like fire a gun next to a character so that they have like a hard time hearing things, and then one of the characters is saying stuff to them, but it's like like you can't really hear what they're saying, but in the subtitles it's just giving you everything that they're actually saying. So like you can actually, like, there's hidden jokes inside that speech. So like, you know, like for instance, like I'll be watching a movie sometimes, and like a character will be saying, like, it'll say like off screen, murmured, or in the background character, and like somebody will be saying like something that's hilarious, but I would never have heard it if I didn't like realize that like the subtitles hadn't revealed that somebody was actually saying stuff. Like, you miss a surprising amount when you have the subtitles turned off.
So I'm not a subtitles guy, and me and you have talked about this before, and I understand those points of view, and I could see that for sure. And this is, I think, a personal thing, but my issue is when I have subtitles on, I end up, it must just be my brain, but I just focus on those, and I end up find out like halfway through the episode that I've just been staring at the words at the bottom of the screen and not taking in like the actual visuals. And then I think it's just a personal thing. I just get distracted, so that's the reason I don't do it.
And that's fair. I think when I first started, I really felt the same way. But it's kind of like one of those things where your brain trains itself over time. Like for instance, I'll only look at the subtitles if I want to, like Doc was saying, if I want to confirm something, or if somebody's like, if I see like a new line pop up and I'm just like, nobody's fucking saying anything, like, who's saying what? Oh, someone in the background is saying something I can't hear. For the most part, I have gotten a lot, like, pretty good at tuning out subtitles. And also, I've watched like a lot of foreign films that like are not like Old Boy and like Jackie Chan movies and things like that, where like the subtitle, like the dialogue isn't in English, so you have to watch it through subtitles. So I've also like sort of trained myself to watch these things without, you know, having like, I can like, I'm a quick reader, so I just go like bzzz, okay, back to like the visuals. So it's
real quick, we got Galanuva in chat, says, hey guys, hey there, welcome.
Hello.
That is MK, Ian.
Oh, hey, how's it going, MK? Good, glad you could join us. So you're Bay.
I am Bay.
Ashley.
Now,
I will say we went. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I will say we went and saw. You know, back before we weren't allowed to do stuff. Me and Ian came out here to visit, and we went and saw Parasite in theaters. And coincidentally, it was an IMAX theater, and I was really worried going in with knowing that I would like not be able to focus, because in IMAX the actual subtitles are going to be like the size of my body or bigger. Like, so I was like, oh my god, I'm going to miss the whole movie. But like within like 5 minutes, not even, I was tuning them out and like able to take everything in. So I don't know. Maybe I just think it's not gonna work, and I would totally be fine. Maybe I'm just like. Yeah.
Fun little caveat to that, and you'll get a kick out of this. Back in high school, me and all my friends, we went and seen Inglourious Bastards. And if you've ever seen that movie,
Many times.
the first like 10 minutes of the movie is in either German or French, so it's all subtitled, and it is some of the best comedy in that entire
Such a
thing.
good scene.
So
Comedy.
on the
I
way
was
into the movie theater, we were there early, so we were at the Chamonix Mall, and we're all playing, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna play I'm playing Galaga on the arcade machine, and I'm like $5. I'm like, no, I'm not even $5 in. I'm like $2.50 in, level 50. I'm just killing it, and I was just doing so good that I didn't want to go in. So we went in like a minute before the like movie started. Like I think we even missed the subtitle or the trailer. Well, we had to sit in the very, very front row on the far left-hand side.
Oh no.
Oh Jesus.
So it was essentially me trying to read subtitles, going left, right. Oh goddamn! I missed the last 6 words.
You have to physically move your head to read.
Just moving your head, just like shit, I'm missing. And it was in a different language. I didn't know what the hell the guy was saying. All I knew he was talking about milk a lot.
Right. My, there's a lot of milk-based dialogue in that first scene.
It's so much.
But that is a tense scene. That whole movie is like a masterclass
Oh my
on
God.
So good.
tension.
Never gets old. And Christopher Waltz is the best in that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
So good.
So good. It's crazy that like that was like I was, it was like 2 days ago. I sat down with my parents to just hang out for a little bit. We had the TV on, and like Horrible Bosses 2 came on, and Christoph Waltz is like one of the bad guys in Horrible Bosses 2.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, oh right, this is like 3 years after Inglourious Bastards, where Christoph Waltz was just in everything because he did such a phenomenal job in that movie. So it's kind of interesting how much like his career was helped by Inglourious Bastards, and then by Django Unchained as well.
Yeah, he's great in both.
Yeah. In the chat, Hidden Pixel Play says, you can't talk about tension without talking about Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I think Uncut Gems gave me a stomach ulcer.
I was sick the next day after watching that. But that's because I ate an entire tub of popcorn.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah. Mark, have you seen Uncut Gems?
I have not.
Oh man. If you want to be anxious for 2 hours, that is a great way to do it. Same with their previous movie. I don't know if Hidden Pixel Plays has seen their previous movie, but it's called
Robert
Good
Pattinson,
Time.
right?
What was that?
Robert Pattinson, isn't he?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson, by the way, showing off some real acting chops in Good Time. But yeah, he's like doing like a New York, Brooklyn type accent thing, and that is also like Good Time is basically like watching some like Temple Run, like where it's just like you have to keep running faster and faster until you just like you get caught by the giant monster behind you.
That's pretty much how Uncut Gems was.
Yeah, those two movies are very similar thematically and like tonally. But yeah, they're both fantastic. I think Uncut Gems was the better movie of two, I would say.
I'm pretty sure Good Time is on Netflix. At least it was like a couple months ago. I don't know if it still is.
I may have to check both of those out. They actually look pretty dang good, right up my alley.
Yeah, and Adam Sandler is in Uncut. He's the main character in Uncut Gems, and he does a really good job. It's like a dramatic role.
Yeah, Adam Sandler is so underrated as a dramatic actor. Yeah, they're both on Netflix.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I will be one of those people to I'll go to bat for like very hated on things. Like Brandon and I, we don't get into arguments, but we were talking about the Big Bang Theory last night, and I was just like, I don't like Big Bang Theory. And I like, Brandon is very against it, which I mean that's his prerogative. Like I'm not gonna shit on him for that.
It's the low hanging fruit, I'm not being brave by not liking the Big Bang Theory.
Well, no, but also the website I write for, they also just recently posted an article titled "Mediocre Shows with Great Theme Songs," and Big Bang Theory was on that list, and I was just kind of like, Look, yes, it's mediocre. I will give it that. Actually, I'll deal with that. And I have actually watched Big Bang Theory without the laugh track, and it's really weird. Same with like Friends without a laugh track. It's like just
Yeah.
any show
awkward.
without a laugh track is just so weird. Like,
You realize how much of a crutch it is once they
not
take
even
it
just
away.
like a crutch, but just like the actors are like standing. Like you don't really get the sense of the actors being like, "Hey, finish your fucking line."
timing,
Say
the
my
timing.
line."
They just stand there. But no, I would also say it's a crutch because there's certain jokes that are just not funny if you don't have a room of 100 people laughing to be like, oh, that was a joke? Okay, haha, me too.
Exactly.
Oh, it's funny because he's setting up a punchline, you know, like, but yeah, like, and like, I'll go to bat for some of Adam Sandler's Netflix movies, which, like, for instance, I saw the Hubie Halloween movie. I don't know if you guys watched
So
that.
good. I actually really liked
Really?
it.
Awesome.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time with, like, I watched with my family, because we needed like a nice, fun family, not scary Halloween movie, because my mom cannot handle horror. Yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. It was goofy. It was dumb, but I mean, I liked it. I had a good time with it. But also, I've seen a couple of. I haven't seen Ridiculous 6, and I don't doubt that that's actually just pure drivel. But I did see his movie with David Spade called The Do-Over. And that movie is surprisingly funny. But it's weird because, like, you guys, like, I'm assuming you've both seen, like, a decent amount of Adam Sandler's stuff, right?
I've seen a very, very, very large amount.
I kind of stopped in like the recent, like probably the last decade. I haven't really kept up, but I've seen the
That's
majority of the stuff. The stuff that he's like, people agree is all good. I've seen all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like the Netflix territory is where it gets real dodgy because it's like that's like kind of where he hit the point in his career where he just like didn't give a fuck. Like he did like those like fake trailers for his movies in Funny People where it's just like, what if Adam Sandler was a baby? And then that's like the type of movie he started making for like the next decade or so.
Yep.
He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, he 100% knew what he was doing. He was taking vacations on company dime
Yeah.
with his friends. That's
And
for
who can
sure.
blame him? I'd sell out too if I was given that option.
For sure. So the do-over is weird because like Adam Sandler's got like there's like modes to Adam Sandler. So like there's cool guy Adam Sandler where he becomes like real like sort of aloof and he's just like gee, I don't know, I just kind of like that's weird that you're doing that thing right there.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden like some girl who's like 30 years his junior will be like, oh my god, my pussy's so wet for Adam Sandler. And so like in the do-over he kind of starts at like the movie's first 20 minutes are Adam Sandler doing cool guy Adam Sandler, but he's like, guess what, I'm an FBI agent. And then like there's a scene where they fake their deaths and then they're kind of watching their own funeral from afar, and like at that point I am not sold on the movie, but we have it on the background because we're eating food and like what else are we gonna fucking do. So and then all of a sudden like Adam Sandler's like wife, who is veiled and she's covered up, like you can't really see her face, she starts crying on his coffin, and then like they show a shot of Adam Sandler and he's like on the verge of tears and he's like, stop doing that shit. And then I was just kind of like, oh fuck, I forgot that Adam Sandler can actually like act.
Yeah, he can
And
when he
then-
wants to.
Yeah, and then like from there on the movie gets really funny. And it's like it's
Check it
just
out.
like a weird situation, and like David Spade's funny in it, and like I will say like if you want a funny dumb Adam, like it's not like the greatest thing in the world, and it's also like another, like Adam Sandler has been in I believe 3 movies where he has an incurable disease and then he ends up finding a cure for it by the end of the movie. And that's one of them. Not to, it doesn't spoil a whole lot, but it's whatever. Like who fucking cares? But that is just another one of those types of movies. But it's funny. There's some funny jokes in there, and it's worth a watch if you have like an hour and a half to kill.
Sold. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Oops.
There's also like the lady who plays his wife is a hilarious actress too. I'm trying to remember her name. If I say her name, you guys will be like
Jennifer Aniston.
right? No, but
Not this one.
gonna look it up. This is the fun part of the show where I Google things.
It's always fun to Google things.
That's great. That's great. While you're Googling that, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. This is the other fun part of the show where half the hosts leave.
That's right. Catherine Hahn. I don't know if you guys know. Well, Brandon's gone. Do you know who Catherine Hahn is?
Catherine Hahn, I'm looking her up now.
You'll recognize her as soon as you see her face.
I was gonna say I recognize her. I'm trying to think of what. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, she was the sister in Step Brothers.
That's right. Yes.
That's
my
the
God.
big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I know her from something, and I have her Wikipedia page up. I was like, that's the one, Step Brothers.
Yep. She's hilarious, and she's hilarious in that Adam Sandler movie too. She's just a very funny actress, and she doesn't get nearly as much. Like, she gets credit, but like I wish she was in more things because I love her in pretty much everything I've seen her in.
Yeah, I feel like she hasn't really been in a ton of things.
I know, right? Like she was in, the weirdest thing I've seen her in was like she was in that M. Night Shyamalan movie. What's it called? This is also like we're gonna do some more googling here, everybody. Just give it 2 seconds. She was in that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
All right.
The
Also,
Visit.
oh, what? Sorry, I just came back.
So Catherine Hahn, Brandon, do you recognize that actress?
I don't recognize the name. Let me look her up.
Google time. We're gonna Google
Just an
things
empty
talking
screen.
about.
Also, Mark, I do want to mention that if you don't, no pressure if you don't want to, but if you do want to draw at all, feel free.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, everything was too pretty. I was like, I don't want to get involved in this. I drew my crown. I'm gonna leave my crown there.
Okay.
I put some jewels on that
Just
too.
leaving the it's up to you. Do what you'd like.
But
Yeah, we
yeah,
feel
no.
comfortable.
Once it gets to that was looking way too good. I was like, no, I can't get in this yet. I thought about asking if I could draw the bomb inside of the painting because
I was gonna ask you, and then I didn't, and I should have.
it would have been terrible.
It would have been
It
perfect.
would have been hilarious, but terrible.
Well, that was the whole joke anyway, so that would have been perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
well, I could bring it back up and give you the chance if you want, or we can move on.
No, we'll
Okay.
move on.
All right.
Okay. What we should draw? What would our character look like if we were like a schlubby side character in an Adam Sandler movie? What would you look like? Right?
I feel like I just look like myself, right? I already kind of fit the.
Well, look. Okay.
That does not make for a fun segment if I say that. So.
That's
So
true.
all right, I will draw myself. It's a
Or just
schlubby-
like for instance in Hubie Halloween, Mark will understand what I'm talking about. Like Tim Meadows looks so stupid in that movie on purpose.
How does he look?
And I gotta show you a picture. He's got like the dumbest haircut, and everyone makes fun of his haircut in the movie. Like he's basically like a dickhead who's got like terrible fashion sense, and like that's his whole bit. He's like married to Maya Rudolph. You know, he's. I was happy to see him acting in like in
Yeah,
the
I
thing. Because I miss Tim Meadows. He was great.
he's good.
He just looks. He's got like he's basically bald, wearing a bad rug in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he just looks dumb as fuck. And like, it's an interesting movie. I don't know. I was gonna talk about it back when we were doing our Halloween show, but we ended up talking about a million other things.
Now seems like as good a time as any.
Yeah. You want to talk? Do you have any thoughts on Hubie Halloween, Mark? Are you know, it's like one of the most watched movies on Netflix.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was like, I was looking for a spooky kind of movie, but I was like, I know this isn't gonna be scary, but I always got a kick out of his like ridiculously over the top kind of movies, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. Like anytime he does like that over the top kind of deal where you're just like, is this really gonna be like what he's doing? But
Yeah.
it had a storyline. Like it had a legitimate, actual, decent storyline that I don't think anybody else could have pulled off.
Yeah, I think in the hands of anybody else, that movie would have been 10 times dumber. But because Adam Sandler is used to making over-the-top dumb comedies, like he just happened to like kind of straddle the line where I was like,
See you
this
later,
is dumb,
Anime. Thanks for watching.
but I fuck with it, you know? Like that's kind of where I was at with the movie. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Galanuva says, wasn't a huge fan, to be honest. I only liked the running joke about him being on his bike and people throwing stuff at him got progressively worse.
Yeah, that was my favorite running joke. Like, it's weird. It's a hard movie to recommend because you really have to be in the mood to watch something so stupid in order before I would feel comfortable recommending it to somebody. Just it's because it's ridiculous. It's like, you know, it's not trying to be highbrow or anything. Like
Right.
He comes out in the one scene, he's got like piss on his sheets, and like that's what you're in for. But it's fun. I mean, if you're looking for just like a goofy shit to,
Is he like Bobby Boucher?
he's
As an
basically
adult?
Bobby Boucher. He's doing a Bobby Boucher type voice.
That was what my female roommate, she was like, she was like, didn't he already do this character? And I'm like, well, yeah, it kind of seems like it, but you know.
He's
That's
actually
fine.
close. So like, I think in the movie they make a reference to the fact that he might be Canteen Boy from Saturday Night Live in the
That's-
movie.
Because he's always carrying around a canteen, right? Or like a
He's got a
thermos.
thermos, but he's like, I made this in the. He's got like he's doing like a weird voice. He's like, I made this in when I was a Boy Scout, and I think he's basically doing the Canteen Boy voice. I'm not totally
That's
sure.
pretty funny. That's I didn't think about that connection, but that's pretty funny.
But you know, it's goofy. But like, I think my favorite part is they set up a bunch of stuff, and then they all have like these payoffs where I was relatively satisfied with how everything paid off in the movie. Like they like just drop these little bits of crumbs of like, what's this gonna be here and there, and then when you find out what they were all pleasantly surprising.
I'll have to check it out. You're not the first person that's told me to watch it.
Yeah, and like again, like it's really dumb. It's
Well,
so over the
Adam
top.
Sandler's
Like,
never been highbrow.
this is true.
I mean,
would
when he was good, his stuff was super dumb too.
I would say Billy Madison was approaching highbrow because Billy Madison's slightly more like
I think
Billy
Billy
Madison is like a lot more meta than a lot of his other things.
A lot of the jokes in it are that dumb, you know, like there's bits of like clown falls and hits its head and starts like bleeding out of his like mouth, like that kind of shit. Like it's been there forever, like the stupid physical comedy and dumb, like, you know, the penguin and I don't know, people
the penguin thing. Yeah, it's like
poop and
Billy
pee jokes.
Madison
stuff
was
that.
like everything Billy Madison did was sort of like shitting on movie tropes of the time. Like the whole, like for instance, the scene where like he gets Red, the boy who lost his puppy or something like that. Like it's funny because like the whole point of that scene is that this teacher reads like he's a terrible person throughout like almost the entire movie, and then the teacher reads like the most inane just kids book ever that has no actual lesson to it, and like that's his breakthrough moment is like when he hears like the puppy who lost his way. Like he hears like a book that literally has no, like a child wouldn't learn anything from, but it literally like shapes his whole worldview into being a better person. Like the movie's full of like all these meta jokes that like are basically making fun of the conventions of TV shows, like movies at the time, like where a character like turns their life around.
And the puppy who finds his way, like, the payoff is later when he uses that as his example to describe things. And if it weren't for, like, the reaction of the the game show host, you would have probably buy it that he just, like, succeeded at his whole, like, monologue.
Yeah. It's
like,
so
the whole
good.
audience is, like, really enamored, and then all of a sudden it ends, and the host is, like, just, like, tears him down.
Yeah.
That's probably, like, the best scene of the movie.
It's like they set up like all these things where you think they're like basically Billy Madison is like playing all of the things that Adam Sandler would then do, like play straight in his later films. But like in Billy Madison, he uses those same things, but then like, you know, like he calls Steve Buscemi, and Steve Buscemi's like, oh wow, thanks for calling me, I'm so glad you apologized. And then he's got like a kill list and like, he's marking it off with like
It's
lipstick.
a great movie.
It's a great movie, but it's a little bit more intelligent, the jokes and like the payoffs to them, because it's sort of mocking movies that conventions movies still use, honestly, like in that. But like Hubie Halloween is sort of like, you know, plays everything more straight, but there's still good payoffs to a lot of, like, the jokes. Like, there's like a couple, like at one point it feels like there's 5 different directions the movie is heading, and then like when they sort of tell you what each, like, everything ends up being like, you know, rerouted towards the main focus of the movie, and like the way they sort of reroute everything is always interesting and kind of like an enjoyable surprise.
Did you like it better than The Cobbler?
Oh my god, yes. Holy shit.
Have you seen The Cobbler, Mark?
Fuck.
I've not seen that.
Oh my god, what?
I haven't either, but Ian goes on rants about The Cobbler every now and then. And...
What a terrible movie. Oh my god. Oh, can I rant about The Cobbler, please?
Sure, I think it's been probably a few weeks since we talked about it on the show.
Oh my god, what a dumb fucking movie. Ugh.
Any fans of The Cobbler in the audience?
Yeah, like, please. I gotta know, because it's so bad. I'll try and keep it brief, because I'm pretty sure I have gone through the whole movie beat by beat.
But that's okay.
But, so, like, Adam Sandler is a cobbler, and he's doing cool guy Adam
He's the
Sandler.
titular cobbler.
He's the titular cobbler. And he's doing the thing where he's, like, fucking, like, cool guy Adam Sandler. He's aloof. He's a little depressed. And then Selena Gomez, who is, like, 22 in the movie, is like, I'm infatuated with this 60-year-old man. As she's just like, oh my god, I'm interviewing you for like this petition for a local thing, and then he's just like, God, you know, whatever, like I'm just a cobbler guy, and you look like a really nice person, so like, you know, I'll talk to you for like 5 minutes, and then she's like on his dick like the rest of the movie.
Not actually.
Not actually until the end of the movie. I'm pretty sure like she is definitely his romantic lead or his romantic interest in the movie, but it's very one-sided on her end. But like I think they agree to go to dinner by the end of the movie. It's so dumb. But so like he finds like a cobbler machine in his basement, and he finds out by when I think he works on Redman from the Wu-Tang Clan's shoes, that when he works on the shoes in this magic cobbler machine, which they give a backstory, it's like been blessed with some Hebrew magic. He puts on the shoes that he just cobbled, and then he becomes that person. And so then it turns like into this whole conspiracy where like fucking some Helen Mirren type woman is like trying to like murder people out of their buildings so that she can buy their buildings to like establish a super condo or something like that. And like at one point he dresses up as his dad so that he can like dance with his dementia riddled
So wait,
mom.
the one detail he left out is that these magic shoes, when you put on the shoes of somebody else, you turn into them, and then you can like Darkman your way into situations.
Yes.
And
What the hell?
so
yeah,
super shoes.
He becomes a superhero essentially, and he uses the superpower to like hatch this elaborate scheme to like take down this Helen Mirren type woman who's trying to like kill these people out of like she's basically her plan is to burn down this dude's building with him inside of it so that she can like own the property and turn it into her super condo or whatever.
Sounds great.
And then like it's so dumb all the way leading up to it. No one's acting well. Like no one's convincing. Steve Buscemi is there as like his like folksy advice neighbor, going like, "Hey, you know, Adam Sandler. Well, the thing about your dad is he was such a good guy, and you're a good guy too, Adam Sandler." And so then it is a fever dream. It's 100% a fever dream, and so like by the end of the movie, this is a spoiler alert for anyone who's interested in seeing this terrible movie, and if you are, shame on you. But the whole movie, his dad's been missing, and his mom dies, by the way, because she gets to see her husband one last time, and then the next morning she's dead, which is a move telegraphed like from the beginning of the movie. So the mom dies, dad's missing, and then he solves the whole problem. That's the main thing of the movie, using his magic powers. And then all of a sudden he like finds a hidden thing in his basement, and who's there but Dustin Hoffman, who is his dad. And then his dad is just like, "Son, I gotta show you something. These are Michael Jackson's shoes. These are fucking Kobe Bryant's shoes. these are the president's shoes. He's got like shoes for like every famous person in history or whatever. And then Adam Sandler's like, what the fuck is going on, Dad? And then Dustin Hoffman's just like, your son, I gotta let you know something. And like he like clicks a button or something like that, and a big fucking limousine shows up all of a sudden. And it's revealed in like the last 5 minutes of the movie that Dustin Hoffman is basically like legit a superhero using his cobbler powers. And then they get in the limousine and they drive off, and like they're setting up some sort of the cobbler extended universe. Adam Sandler's like, what's going on? I just want to get a bagel. And Dustin Hoffman's like, oh, you should meet the bakers I know. They've got superpowers too. And like basically setting up like this whole like working class people with magic powers like undercurrent that they just ignored the whole movie. That would have made a way better movie. And yeah.
Great.
That's the cobbler. It's so bad. It's so bad. Every once in a while I sit down and I just think about how bad this movie was. I'm just like, somebody fucking... God, Selena Gomez and
People worked on this.
Adam Sandler and Dustin Hoffman and Steve Buscemi and Redman from the Wu-Tang Clan to be in this terrible fucking movie.
I feel like I need to watch it for educational purposes.
If anyone's ever looking to watch a bad movie, like I love watching bad movies, which is why I watched it in the first place.
Wait, it's not Selena Gomez. It's Melanie Diaz.
Well, now I'm racist. That's just racist.
No. They do look similar. Because
Okay.
I was just looking it up. I was like, I didn't remember seeing her in that. I love Selena. And then I was like, wait, and I just looked at it and I was like, nah, I see who it is now.
Melanie Diaz.
Melanie Diaz, not Selena Gomez.
They do look similar. You're right.
Okay. I was worried.
You're off the hook.
Okay.
You're
I
safe.
mean,
You're safe.
I've made that mistake in the past, and it's every time it's just a super white person.
You're not canceled yet, but you're not. Be careful. It can still happen.
It's so bad. It's such a bad movie. Oh my god. If you're ever looking for like a fucking incomprehensible movie to watch,
Featuring Adam Sandler.
featuring Adam Sandler doing his
There you go.
routine.
There you go. Sounds great.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll have to watch it just so I know what you're always ranting about.
I talk about it a lot, actually. It's a bad movie.
Hidden Pixel Play says a masterpiece stick figure in the works right now, and I agree.
I agree. That
Well
is
done.
fantastic.
Those lines are so straight.
They're good lines.
Mark, have you ever seen just a bafflingly bad movie?
That you can think of.
Yeah, let me think. Cause see,
We
I'm
all
a person
have.
that kind of enjoys most movies, even if they're real shitty.
Oh, me too. I love watching bad movies. It's just
Um,
sometimes you see a movie so bad, you're just like,
How did nobody shut this
Okay,
down?
I got one that literally we couldn't even get past the first like 15 minutes.
ooh.
And it was one of those things where it was just like a bunch of us just hanging out. We're like, let's put this on. Don't Fuck in the Woods.
That's the name of the movie?
That's the name of the movie.
It's a slasher film, right?
Yeah,
I can put that together from the title.
and it's like the first like you're like, okay, all right, I can kind of go with it, and then just like the way that they start, like the killing starts so fast, and it's literally like it's so much like that commercial of the really what's that? Is that the Geico commercial where they hide behind the chainsaws?
Yeah.
Like it's something like it's akin to that.
Oh my god.
Is it like satire or a parody of those types of movies?
No.
Okay, so the title would almost make you think that it might be.
I'm looking at the screenshots right now, and these definitely look low budget, and like they hired almost porn actresses, or
Yes,
'cause,
pretty
like,
much.
I watched a movie once called Cheerleader Ninjas, and that was like in the very first year that like Netflix was doing online streaming. And this has just very similar vibes to Cheerleader Ninjas.
What would you say that the cheerleader ninjas were more cheerleaders or more ninjas?
Definitely more cheerleaders. They were vaguely ninjas.
They were ninjas
but-
on the side.
The highlight of the movie Cheerleader Ninjas is they're doing like a Power Rangers like giant robot fight with like a monster of some kind that I forget what it was, but somehow the cheerleaders have morphed into a Megazord.
Classic ninja behavior or cheerleader behavior.
That's true, yes. And they go Super Sentai, and then like the other main characters of the movie that they've established so far are watching and going like, wow, this is crazy. And then they legit start they start promoting like butt plugs and like flavored condoms, because they like basically like let you know like, oh yeah, we got all of our money by like sponsorships with porn sites. Like they literally start like promoting like,
weird,
check out this vibrator. And it was like, what the fuck is
bizarre move.
yeah, so I get similar vibes from Don't Fuck in the Woods.
Just like scrolling through the trailer for Cheerleader Ninjas, and I'm like, what?
You had to kind of know what you were getting with a title like Cheerleader Ninjas.
Oh, like I said, I love watching a bad movie.
Yes, you do.
The three friends I was watching it with, Austin and Kyle, who you've met before, Brandon, and then
Yes.
my other friend David, they were not as enthralled as I
No,
was.
you like to hold people hostage while you watch bad movies.
I do that.
You've done it to
don't
me.
I did that with Brandon. He was over in Philly, and I started watching this. I forget the name of the movie was, but it was definitely like a Bollywood film. And I was just like, watched it for like at least 15 minutes before Brandon and my ex were like, "Can we stop, please?"
That's funny that you think it was only 15 minutes. He was like, this looks weird, and he put it on, and like, I was expecting that he's doing that thing that we all do where it's just like, it's like a game of chicken, kind of, where it's just like, ah, wow, this is bad, like in the first 5 seconds to turn it off. But no, then we proceeded to watch like half of it.
We did.
And I'm just
I
like,
like
why?
watching
Why? No, I like bad movies, but there's a sweet spot. It can't just be bad. There has to be like, so bad it's good type thing, or something.
Yeah.
For sure, but how are you gonna know which one it is until you watch
You
all
get a
of
pretty good idea when you're halfway through the movie.
it? That's fair. That one wasn't as bad. Cheerleader Ninja's also just not.
Need
Just
redeeming
bad.
qualities. Let's see. Xenoots says, also welcome Zach. The ultimate so bad it's good movie is Big Money Rustlers, a movie I hated and don't understand why peeps like it. It is Shrooms. All right, I think he's going to yell at his brother who's in the same house. I don't know. Ian just went off cam. He also says Terror Tunes is also so bad it's bad. Oh, it's an ICP movie.
It's an ICP cowboy western.
I didn't know they had
I
film.
it's funny because now as I think about it, I do know that movie. I've never seen it, but I know it.
I've seen the box.
I've seen
Also,
it 5 times.
let's see what else we got. Hidden Pixel Play says Brandon's drawing looks like a Muppet, whereas real life Ian is a Muppet.
I
There
am,
you go.
that's true.
That's the contrast. Let's see what else we got in the chat. Galanuva says, I saw a Bollywood movie that was amazing. It was called Thugs of Hindustan. It's basically Bollywood Pirates of the Caribbean. I
want to watch that.
I could go for that. He says 3 hours long, which that's a
Even
gauntlet.
better.
That's a gauntlet. But if you can make it through, maybe I'll have to check that out. Hidden Pixel Play says House, a 70s Japanese horror movie that it's just bonkers and so bad and weird that it's phenomenal.
Seen it. Weird as fuck movie.
Zenit says, I liked BMR so much that I abbreviated it and then bought it on DVD.
Yep.
He just calls it BMR because he's talking about it so often.
Well, yeah, because BMH, Big Money Hustlers, is the one where they go to space. That one I've also seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen House. House is actually where I believe they got the idea of the piano in Super Mario 64, the one that like you can walk near it and then it goes crong 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 crong.
Okay.
Terror Tunes. I haven't seen that.
I'm surprised. I didn't know that. Internet or Insane Clown Posse had a cinematic universe. I didn't know they had a film career at all.
The best part about this movie is when first of all, Jason Mewes is in it. Because what else was he gonna do? It's terrible, by the way. This is like the worst movie ever. but also
Zach disagrees.
it's very bad. I think Mark Hamill's in it as a cameo. There's like no, I know for sure that Ron Jeremy plays a cameo in this movie.
What movie?
Big Money Hustlers. Rustlers,
Oh, okay.
not Hustlers. Don't get them mixed up.
Yeah, Hustlers is in space.
Is internet? I keep saying internet. Is Insane Clown Posse? Are they Time Lords, or why are they in a cowboy setting and then a space setting?
So in this one, it's just two separate movies. It's not like they're connected in storyline in any way. But
You have to
here's the
suspend your
thing that
disbelief a little.
Here's the funny thing about Big Money Rustlers is that they established the fact that the clown paint is genetic.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's that
So, like,
canon.
they have a kid, and like at one point, and like the kid has clown face paint on, and that's how you know that he is Shaggy Two Dopes, either as a kid or a Shaggy Two Dopes child. I forget which, but also, Don't Fuck in the Woods is on Tubi, so I'm gonna watch that.
You said Tubi's free, right?
Tubi is free. Tubi you don't even have to sign up for. You just go on the website.
Yeah.
Find the movie you wanna
I'll have to
watch,
check it
and
out.
I have it on my Fire Stick.
Nice. I watched. That's how I watched Ginger Dead Man. I watched Rubber again because it was on Tubi, and I was doing some research for an article. A lot of stuff on Tubi. So,
That's what I've been hearing.
Tubi or not Tubi? You know, that is the question.
Did you just
And
come
we've
up with that
lost
right
2
now?
viewers. So we are scaring them away.
Yeah. You know, little by little. The trick is to whittle them all down by the end of the show.
That's how we roll. It's like a battle royale, except it's people's patience that they're fighting against.
That's right.
What draw pad do you guys use?
You can go first, Ian.
Okay, so I use a very fancy pants, Cintiq 24-inch. After I got this one, I was just like, you know, I would have settled for the one that's like half the size. This is fucking huge. I used to have a Yanova, but that thing died and like just crapped out. So that's when I had to make the switch over to a new one. And I was like, I might as well go with the one that's probably gonna last longer than 3 years. So it was worth the investment.
I'm so happy that I had Ian go first now, because now I can just say same. I have all the same stuff, and I'm very happy with it. They have a newer one now, but they're so expensive. They're finally, for like the first time in, I don't know, like 20 years, there's finally competition. So maybe the prices will come down in the future. But up until this point, Cintiq kind of like ran the game on these tablets, so they're very expensive. So the one that Ian has and I have, I've been like salivating over it for like the last, I don't know, 10 years. But now that they came out with a newer model, this one is finally affordable. So I have that one too, and I like it a lot. It does a good job.
Yeah,
it is gigantic, but I have the space, so I like that it's gigantic. It's nice.
Yeah. If I could do it again, though, I would probably go for like the one that's like a little smaller, just because I use this as my main screen because it's the best resolution monitor that I have. But you know, I wouldn't mind having something that's a little bit easier, to just like kind of put on close to my lap and just be like. Doop, 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 doop.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, it still works fine. I mean, this is fantastic, and I have no complaints otherwise.
Yeah. Previous to this, I also had the Yanova. Before that, I had just like another Cintiq tablet, but it was not like a screen you draw on. It was like it's like a little plastic tablet that plugs into the USB, and you have to learn to like look at the look at the monitor while you draw down there, which isn't too difficult, but it's a little bit of a learning curve. But I had that for many years.
And it doesn't match quite up with just the sensation. Like, nothing's gonna match up with drawing on an actual piece of paper with like a pencil or pen. But you know, second place is definitely drawing directly on the screen, and having like to kind of make that connection, I think, is just it doesn't feel like, no matter how good you get at it, it just doesn't feel quite the same. So I always recommend that if you can, get yourself a tablet monitor, because it's very worth it. Especially if you're serious about getting into art and things like that.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
No, I mean,
Aaron will tell you, I dated an artist for 5.5 years that did primarily like pencil, charcoal, some painting, and whatnot.
Nice.
But I got to so I was so used to people being like super good at drawing. So like anybody else I met and they would start drawing, I'm just like, it looks like shit, and I'm just like, it can't be that way because I gotta realize that not everyone. And then like I look back and I'm just like, I mean, her stuff was good, yeah, but it wasn't like fucking best. She put me in a. She also did sculptures and stuff. So I actually got to have a mold of my head done.
Whoa.
That's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. Until they stabbed me in the face with the They had to put straws in so that I could sleep. And they put in the straw, and it
they did an actual bust of your head. I thought you were saying like she molded one. I didn't know they actually sculpted it around your head. Wow.
I also made one of those in freshman year, and I have like a deviated septum and some shit, but also apparently everyone just like breathes out of one nostril at a time. It's just like a human thing.
I didn't know this.
I always thought that I only breathed out of like one nostril just because of my deviated septum, but it turns out that's just like a thing everyone does. But I do have a picture. I'm gonna post it in the Discord now real quick.
When I was in college,
plaster cast on my face, and I freaked out when I was like covered and then like had the tube sticking out of my nose. I was like legitimately having a panic attack.
When I was in college, I had a sculpture.
It's something different.
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
There was a sculpture teacher that was kind of an asshole, and he did that, but he was the model for it. And I'm like, bold move. We could easily end you right now, but
yeah,
you know. We didn't seize the opportunity.
So you only did just the face. I did literally the entire head.
Wow.
Oh boy, that is more terrifying. Yeah.
Do you own your head?
So I was completely submerged, essentially.
That's a lot.
In alginate and covered.
No, thank you.
Seemed to have the picture floating around.
How'd you do with that? How'd it go? Besides getting stabbed in the brain and getting a COVID test, pre-COVID.
Yeah, I'll have to look for it. I'll find it for you guys one of these days. It was something else. I'll tell you that.
I bet. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still here. You made it through.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it through.
Yeah, I would honestly. I would totally do it again.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd
like
that's a good
100%. I would get alginate, and I'd be like, let's do it.
It's it's an interesting experience just kind of being like, that's my fucking face.
Yeah.
This time around, like that one was just us like learning how to make those plaster casts, but like if I were to do it again, I would definitely try and like amp it up and try and like do some cool shit with it, like try and figure out like how to make a weirder version of my face, something along those lines. It'd be fun.
I love sculpting. There's a lot of good like usually, if you're working with traditional clay, you gotta have a kiln, and that's kind of not the easiest thing to work with or have if you don't work in a garage or something. But now they have a lot of good like oven drying clays or air drying clays, polymer clays, and I would like to do more sculpting just because I really enjoyed it when I did do it. It's just been a while.
Yeah, I have a friend who I recently reconnected with her. We used to do like it was me and a bunch of friends, one of who I've been trying to get her onto the show as a guest, but we would do like a wings night every Saturday or something like that. And so I recently reconnected with this friend, just kind of talking about this podcast she's been working on. But she's a sculptor, so like her main thing is doing like these really realistic looking like face, like she does like tiny busts, so they're like.
Love to see her work.
Yeah, I can send a link through Instagram. She's the one who does the My Favorite Feminist podcast I was talking about.
Oh right, okay.
But yeah, her stuff is really good. Hold on, I'll post. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll send you a link real quick. I'll send it. Yeah, I can post it in like the DrawBomb Discord. It's not like she's not trying to get more viewers to her thing.
In the meantime,
sent.
Hidden Pixel Play says I would have so much fun drawing on a tablet. It would probably streamline my graphic design work a lot, but I haven't been able to fully justify the cost yet. I would recommend, if you haven't, getting one of the non-screen tablets for now. They're pretty affordable. I don't know exactly what their line is now, but last time I was in the market, their cheapest model was the Bamboo. It's pretty affordable. You'll have to get used to the disconnect from hand to screen, but you will get used to that pretty quickly, I imagine, and it does streamline things a lot.
It does.
Start there, and then, A, if you can justify the cost, or B, if you decide you like that enough, then you can upgrade to something better, but that's where I started, and that's how I recommend everybody else.
For graphic design, it's interesting too, because I've done the occasional logo, not in any sort of professional capacity, but it's interesting because for me there's diminishing returns on the tablet for graphic design. So I'll do a sketch of what I have in my head, pen on screen, and then when it comes time to actually use the pen tool, setting up the very specifically sized vector lines and things like that, then I'll just tend to resort to the mouse because I feel like I can be a little bit more exact with the mouse that way.
Depends on the work you're doing, I would say.
Yeah, but also, it depends on how you approach all that stuff in the first place. So, you would probably have a much better idea of what your workflow, how it would be improved with this sort of device. So you probably have a good idea of how where you can use it, how you would use it, what your application of it would be, and things like that.
And then Zach also mentioned his Intuos, which he likes a lot. And then that's actually the first tablet I had, so I also can recommend that one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Gets the job
nice.
done.
It does, and it's definitely better than a mouse.
Yeah, once again, depending on the work you're doing, but I can say for the work I do, it's 100% better than the mouse, and it speeds up the work you're doing, at least the work I was doing, by a lot, so it's worth it.
Yeah, Zach is, I'm not sure if his opinions changed or anything like that, but Zach is also somebody who, if you were to offer him a tablet monitor, he would probably choose the Intuos over it. And he can feel free to correct me in the chat, but he's told me before that he actually prefers the not drawing on the screen because the parallax, which is where your pen might not totally sync up with where your cursor is. He thinks that screws him up too much.
Gotcha.
Which I've gotten to the point where I've calibrated my screen well enough that it's not really an issue anymore. But it is something you have to work with for a little while.
I think no matter what type of tablet you're using, the fact of the matter is you're not. It's not paper, and there's adjustments and learning curves and things like that. It's not the same, but it just depends on what you like.
I'm curious how the newest Cintiqs, how the parallax.
They look slick as hell. I don't know how nice they are, but they look cool.
They look cool as fuck. They look slick and all fancy. The buttons are on this one there's clearly defined buttons, but I think on the newer Cintiqs they're the buttons. If you don't know what you're looking for, you might not even see that the buttons there.
I'm really looking forward to them coming out with the next brand after that, so that I can buy that one for cheap.
Yes, exactly. So I can upgrade to the last year's model.
Anyways, not to talk about tablets for an hour.
Yeah.
Mark's probably oh, sorry I asked.
I'm still sitting here looking them up as you.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I'm looking at some of these. I was like, this is $3,200. That's a lot.
That's the new one, and no way, not gonna happen. At least not for me.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on a second. I'm like, why? This is a 30. This is 4K.
So those of you in the chat, feel free to donate $3,200 towards DrawBomb and set us up with some new gear.
We get enough money, we'll give Dr. Soundcheck a tablet.
There you go.
I'll start learning to draw. Just like I said, I'll start learning to play guitar.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know how to play guitar. I've seen you. Should we talk about your music? Would you like? Is that something you'd like to?
Yeah.
I don't really have any originals. My music, I kind of steal Aaron's.
Well, that's called a cover, or even being a member in the band. So
It's a legitimate means.
I consider myself a member of the band, even though he writes everything. But I do tell him all the time. I was like, if you ever need if you ever want me to do anything with you, let me know.
And
or if you want to write some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. When you read about bands and the for instance, Blind Melon. The guys who did that No Rain song, you know,
Yeah.
do-do-do-do. That's very helpful, by the way, that do-do-do-do part. No, but they did the song No Rain. If you look it up, it's the music video with the girl in the bumblebee outfit. But that specific song is like their biggest hit, and it was the only song in their repertoire that was written by their bassist. Everything else was written by their lead singer.
And the bassist never lets anybody else in the band live it down, I'm sure. Nor should he.
Well, I mean, except for the lead singer who just isn't alive anymore. So.
Oh god. Well, you can let him live it down.
He didn't.
Rip torn in peace.
Rip torn in peace. Guy from Blind Melon. But yeah, and like for instance, like there's a lot of bands where like they have like one hit and it's like the only time like the drummer or somebody else like wrote it. Like for instance, the Beatles, they fucking hated Ringo so much.
And then he wrote that song about the octopus, which is now their most popular song.
It's a very popular.
Octopus's Garden by Ringo Starr.
It's a pretty popular song, and I mean, not bad for sure. But also, like John Lennon and like Paul McCartney would like write their own songs. So like anytime like a song was kind of happy sounding, you could pretty much be assured it was a Paul McCartney song. And if it was a bummer, like Eleanor Rigby, you'd be like, that's a Lennon. And like they fucking hated each other's songs, but they were just like, well, we got to share the band together, so let's.
We got to fill a bloody album.
Yes,
I mean,
together.
a good, another good kind of band that you can kind of see that that I always say is Blink.
Blink-182?
Yeah.
But if you can sit down and listen to the self-titled album, and there is a clear, distinct songs that are written by Mark and that are written by Tom.
I totally agree. You can definitely tell.
See,
and then if you go even deeper, if you listen to Plus 44, which is Mark's kind of side project, and Angels and Airwaves, the songs are exact in those senses. So
you guys know a lot more about Blink-182 than I do. Which one of those two wrote Stacy's mom?
Neither.
Wrong band.
Okay, see the thing is, you think I'm joking, and I was only kind of joking. Like...
Oh, I believe you. Funny thing that I found out, MXPX has a song called Wrecking Hotel Rooms, and Mark sings backing vocals on that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's actually a song on the Plus 44 album that is essentially when Blink-182 broke up. Mark and Travis did Plus 44. Travis also did Transplants, and Tom did Angels and Airwaves. But there is a song on Plus 44 that Tom sings on with them, which is kind of weird.
Maybe it wasn't all bad blood. I don't really know the history. I just...
what was the drummer's name? Travis Scott? Travis Parker.
Parker, yeah.
Yeah, when that one Travis guy died in that plane crash, I thought it was the guy from Blink-182, and I was like, man, I know a lot of people who are gonna be real sad about that.
Well, Travis Barker's wasn't it like one of his close friends died in the plane crash, and Travis Barker was on the plane?
He was on the plane, yeah.
And that reunited the band. They kind of got back together due to that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Travis was in a bad plane crash. He's got pretty bad burns. Forget, it was DJ, what's the name? There's a DJ. The DJ is who died on the plane crash.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Then, you know what I'm thinking of is Travis Scott, the rapper. I thought that was Travis, the guy from Blink-182 who took up a rap career for a little while until I actually saw a picture of the guy, and I was just like,
yeah, it was DJ AM that died.
Right.
Yeah.
That's gotta be bizarre to survive a plane crash.
Yeah. It's like just not a fun experience.
I feel like it would crash, and then I would be like, huh. I was not expecting that. I had come to terms with it on the way down, and I was not planning on having to
just gonna
continue being alive.
Text messages. I was
seriously. Gotta delete the drafts list on my Twitter.
Yeah. really rethink.
Yeah, that'd
my
be
priorities.
weird. I would not expect to come out of that alive. It's funny, you see those videos of like just turbulence on an airplane, people in the one person starts screaming and everybody starts screaming because they're like, once one person starts screaming on an airplane, everybody else agrees that they're all going to die.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if the plane is totally fine or not.
And then actually because I was actually wrong, they both survived, Travis and
Oh,
DJ
I didn't know that.
But afterwards, roughly like a year later, DJ AM OD'd.
Oh shit! I didn't know
And
that.
I think it was due to kind of all that stuff, and he was from Philly.
No
shit.
Yeah.
Huh. What do you know?
Yeah, go. You learn something new every day that was, from 10 years ago. But my neighbor. So we had these neighbors that we right down the street. They don't live there anymore. None of them do. They all like moved or went off and grew up or some shit like that. But like the one neighbor I was friends with, and the one day his mom was like a school nurse, and she had to go to like some conference for school nurses or something like that. And then she actually ran into Travis Barker at the hotel pool.
Huh.
So like she actually has like a photo of her like hanging out with like Travis Barker. Like,
That's pretty
she
cool.
did. Yeah, it was just like
Okay.
oh, shit. And like that was in like the heyday of Blink-182, like when they were like they had just released like Adam's Song or some shit like that, and she was just like,
Nice.
"Hey son, aren't you a fan of this band?" And he was just like, "What the fuck?" So,
All right. So, Ian, are you done drawing that, or do you want to keep?
Yeah.
We move on to something else?
can I get? I want each of your character backstories for the Adam Sandler movie that these characters are part of.
So you're a poop scientist who studies pooping.
Yeah, not like poop, like fecal matter, but the actual act of,
You're gonna get us banned on Twitch, don't you know? We're not allowed to
it's my
talk
goal.
about the fact that people poop. You Twitch stream more than us, Mark. Have you heard about this at all? Is this true? This is bullshit. One time we were drawing somebody taking a dump on our show because this is a highbrow entertainment show, and one of our viewers was like, "Whoa, hey, be careful! If you do anything that shows someone pooping, Twitch will ban you."
I have no clue.
It sounds fake, but we make jokes about it. I think
Here's the
once
thing,
per
it doesn't
episode.
sound fake. I have a friend who is getting hit with copyrights from their first couple streams ever on the platform back in like 2017.
I've heard that Twitch is digging through now, like hitting everybody. Is that true?
Didn't they
Yeah,
just ban like the?
Yeah, they deleted like a good 200-300 clips and videos and VODs for that reason, and thought that everything was good, and then they got hit. They're on their second strike.
Jeez. How many strikes do you get? I mean, that seems like a dumb question because baseball, but I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, 3 strikes.
Okay. Makes sense,
Now-
I guess.
Do your strikes eventually like? Let's see, that's like heal themselves.
I
don't know.
don't think so.
I don't think so, yeah.
Wow.
And some of them, you can get them for real bullshit reasons from what I've heard, so it's kind of lame that there's no, like, appeals. Or there might be appeals, I don't know, but...
Yeah, I read that some dude who's like a big Twitch streamer had like 500,000 viewers or something like that. Like he just recently got banned like permanently from Twitch for the DMC takedown, DMCA, because like he was like streaming himself playing some kind of new game and like Apex, I think, or something like that, and then he just got banned like today or something like that. I think is what I read.
Well,
That's why I made all the music for this show.
yeah, good move.
It was
Good move.
It was worth it. No small effort, but we were already like even like the royalty-free songs were like using samples from like Alan Hackshaw and things like that. So like,
Yeah.
it was nice.
So we got 20...
royalty free and stuff like that. I think if you have that kind of stuff, that they really can't do anything about it because it is technically royalty free. It's not like you don't know any better. People are marketing it as royalty free. Then,
Right? You would assume.
yeah.
We just had like a couple of instances where like YouTube and Twitch were like, we cut the audio because this is using a sample from James Brown, and we were just like, what the fuck, man? Like, half of our whole thing is audio. So.
Right.
Yeah. Are you ready for something funny now that you just said that?
Yes.
So Gianna gets copyright stricken on her own music.
That's fun.
It's happened a couple times. She has a recording of one of her songs up on there, and she has had to appeal it several times, saying, "That's me, like that's me, that you're trying to copyright."
I imagine it's all like it's like some kind of program tracking that stuff down, and so it probably makes a lot of errors.
So
Makes a lot of errors. So yeah, it's annoying.
And I think she also got copyright and stricken on a couple of her her covers that she kind of does from start to finish on her own without doing any, without copying any sounds from the original. And I think she has had 2 of them where it was hit by a copyright, which technically at that point that's a compliment from YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you
Let's say
sound
so.
just like the original, but you did this all yourself.
So, I had an idea for a last segment. It's up to you, Mark, if you want to take part in this. But so it was kind of going off an idea Ian had or Austin had last week. I was thinking of doing a comic, and in the first panel, either me or Ian will draw the first panel. We'll have a word bubble, but then I'm thinking Mark should fill in the word bubble with whatever he wants, any possible Mad Lib, like anything you could think as like a good line for that. If you want to do this, you don't have to.
Oh,
And
I was
then
gonna say, if you're putting bubbles, I want the bubbles.
we might have lost Ian, but he'll be back. Either that or he's sitting very, very still right now. Oh, no. You're still there, but you just got kicked out of the drop pile.
Yeah, my whole internet took a real big poop. Like, the stream stopped, I got kicked.
Okay, well, we'll give you a minute to get back here. He's just froze again.
I mean, wait a minute though. I'm a little worried though. I mean, if Twitch sees his internet taking a shit, are we gonna be?
Yes, you will get removed for that. No poops allowed. But yeah, if you are interested, like one of us will draw the first panel, you do the caption, and then that will inspire the next panel, and you'll draw the caption for that. How do you feel about this proposal?
I'm down.
All right. Ian, do you want the first panel or not?
I'll take the first panel.
All right, it's all yours.
Yeah, we have 5 viewers in the chat. If anyone has a starting point, like
Yeah.
a location,
Any
a theme,
vague
even like
theme.
an object.
Yeah,
Something
make it
that-
as vague or as specific as you want. The worst that'll happen is we'll tell you it was a terrible idea and we'll shame you endlessly.
Yeah.
And then draw it anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually do draw it anyways. Yeah.
While you guys are drawing, I'm gonna run to the bathroom and grab a
Okay.
beer.
Sounds good.
Zach says warm beer, which isn't a bad. Not
We
against
won't
that.
cheat you for that
We could definitely work with that, but we're open to other ideas if anybody has any.
Yeah, this is we're gonna do a battle royale of ideas, and whoever's idea survives. to the
If you
end.
go unattested or on a no competition, then warm beer it is. But
Yeah. We're just gonna wait and see. I'm back, right? Like, you can see my face.
yeah, you're good again, and you're back in the thing, the game, the
Yep.
game, the
The draw
draw
pile.
draw pile.
The draw pile. Me friends.
Hidden Pixel Play, he says, what ideas are we looking for? I would say make it as specific or as vague as you want. Just maybe a little more vague is good, because then it can kind of be more up to interpretation. We're going to make a comic jam, and so Zach's got the right idea. He said warm beer, he said pulling ticks off your pet. Both of these would work. We're open to more as well.
Yeah,
Just
you
throw
can
'em
say,
at
like,
us.
secret agents. You can say, well,
You
you
know, I
can't
think
say.
Pooping, because while you were gone, I don't know if you heard it, but Mark was like, oh no, Ian's, yeah, okay, you did hear it. Thought it was
I
clever.
happened to log back in just in time to hear Mark say that, and I was cracking up. I don't know if you guys were able to hear me laughing about it.
It's a real danger.
It is. You gotta watch out where you can't shit where you stream. You know,
Don't shit in the stream.
don't shit in the stream, especially if the water source is downriver. I learned that in City Skylines.
Wow.
I fed a lot of my citizens poop.
Hidden Pixel Play says, finding a cult. Also,
Alright,
good.
these are-
We'll have to let Mark pick. These are all good. I could do all of these.
Yeah, I have a thing in mind for each of the. I like the idea of letting Mark pick though, because
Yeah.
that way it's like, I feel like we have our proclivities.
In the meantime, thanks everybody who's been watching. We appreciate it. Stuff like
appreciate
that
it.
makes the show. It lubes up the show and make it nice and smooth for us.
Exactly.
If there's-
it keeps it greasy so it goes down easy, and is that a DMCA strike I hear?
Should-
Hold on.
So it goes down easy. But yeah, if there's nobody in the chat, it makes it harder.
Keep it greasy so it'll go down easy. Keep it greasy so it'll go down easy. No, 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 don't do the pound of town. I don't know the rest of the words of that song. I just know the keep it
Sounds
greasy
like you don't
part.
know most of the words you just said. You're just going. Mer, 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 mer.
Yeah. Which I do for a lot of. I don't know most of the words for a lot of songs.
There's an old SNL sketch that's like one of those commercial type ones they do,
Mhm.
and it's like your favorite hit sung by people in the bar, and it's like they belt out like the one phrase that everybody knows, and then they all just mumble the rest to the beat.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's good.
So I found these Jello shots. These
Wow.
pre-made Jello shots in my fridge.
So jealous.
What flavor do we got? The blue raspberry.
Yeah, I got one for each of you, but
Oh,
I'm just
thank
gonna take them all.
Do it, man.
That was the
Please.
blue raspberry.
Just put mine in the mail. I'll eat it in
Yeah,
a week
I
when it gets
got a
here.
watermelon and a
Watermelon.
strawberry. Watermelon guzzler and a strawberry slammer.
Ooh.
Wow.
I got some. What do we got here? This is a 6.5% grapefruit infused IPA with natural citrus flavors.
Ooh, I do love grapefruit IPAs. I have a 7% Two-Hearted Ale. And Ian, there he
that's
is.
who's that?
Bells,
Yeah,
which is about an hour from where I live.
nice.
I forget. Was Bell's one of the breweries that we visited
No.
when I was there, or
No, it's in Kalamazoo, which is about an hour from Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, then
Yeah.
too.
Grand Rapids has a lot of good ones though. Founders, that's a popular one. That's probably in your. They distribute to
Founders.
Pennsylvania for sure, and their stuff's good. They don't pay me though, so I'll stop patting them on the back. Mark, so here are your options for the comic. We're gonna let you pick the theme.
Okay.
You have the theme warm beer, finding a cult, or pulling ticks off your pet. These are your options to choose from.
I'm digging finding a cult.
Okay.
Okay, there we
That
go.
was kind of what I was leaning towards. Too,
Yeah,
to be honest.
that's a good one.
Okay. Time to get started. Now, would it be interesting if we worked backwards? But I know it's just backwards.
Let's not overcomplicate this. This is a new idea.
Fair.
Just make sure you leave a word bubble space. I also didn't include this one, but I feel like it deserves a honorable mention. Zach said, "The spirit of Frank Zappa rising up to sue you guys."
Oh yeah. I was singing "Keep It Greasy" while you were away.
Oh, that's why. Okay, it would be a good theme for a comic too, but.
It would have been, yeah.
I read recently that Zappa, and it makes sense being who he was as an artist. He was all in on the hologram train way before it existed, and like he's not like Tupac where they just like hacked his soul and milked it for some extra money, but he actually he's like, in case one day that this is possible, he like recorded himself from all angles performing a bunch of his songs, and so they're like planning a Zappa tour that he actually like wanted when he was alive, which is pretty awesome.
That is super cool, and that's the only time I'd be okay
The
with
only
it.
time I'm okay with it, yeah.
Yeah. I read an article that we were sort of talking about on the Slack for the website I write for. One of the articles that they were going to do a write-up for was about how Disney is not planning on using a digital like recreation for Chadwick Boseman for the next Black Panther, and I'm just like, good.
That shouldn't be a thing. I think the only one that I'll like let slide is like Leia, because she probably, I don't know, they probably agreed to that kind of shit.
Yeah, well, she was also like they were like almost done filming that movie.
Yeah, that's like the thing they have planned out. But normally I'm against that. I don't want that to ever become a standard where they're just like, oh, they died, so let's just throw them in there.
Yeah, like
they did it in the newest Star Wars trilogy with one of the Empire guys. I don't know the actor's name,
right?
but yeah, but it looks real. Which the better it looks, the more like I'm offended by it, because the more it works, the more wrong it seems.
You're like, are they gonna keep doing shit?
And they're like, oh, they could totally get away with this if like the audience allows it.
Yeah, it's also just kind of like, you know, it's a little bit benign to have them do like, I mean, it's still bad, but like I'm going somewhere with this, but it's benign having them do like their character from Star Wars that they had been doing before. But like, you know, what if like they start using that shit for like more nefarious purposes, like, you know, have your character like, you know, just saying some shit, or having you say some shit that you just would never catch yourself saying in life. Like there's like, it's not great even when it's used for like such a benign purpose as like making your character from Star Wars come back for another role, but like also, you know, it just opens the doors for a lot more heinous potential shit.
What if they allow Tom Cruise to keep playing a leading man, and then he never has to play like a grandpa like the rest of people of his era?
Right.
You know, that's
in this
wrong.
movie, we actually made Tom Cruise taller than 5'5".
Yeah. Well, I guess it's okay if he's in on it, but still, like, I just don't want them to be like bringing in dead actors and shit like that. That's weird, and it seems wrong.
Yeah.
Even if like their kids sound off on it, like, still no thanks.
It's like gross abuse of a corpse or something.
Exactly. It's like they should. If you're not alive, you should have a say in whether you're, you know, digitally put into a movie. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Like when they had Sam Jackson in Captain Marvel, and like they used the CGI like make him look younger, I'm like, that's fair. At least Sam Jackson could sign off on it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because like his character in the series would be younger looking rather than older. But yeah, just like taking a person who had no consent to the situation.
I'm cool with all that. I'm cool with them using it for like a passage of time. One thing I don't want, even if the actor does agree to it, is them to just like, instead of hiring new people, having like young, I'll go back to Tom Cruise and attack him again. Just like young Tom Cruise be like the leading man for another like 30 years and have him do like voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that. Just hire a new actor.
Folks need to eat, and Tom Cruise has been eating for a while.
He'll have no trouble eating.
Yeah. Speaking of, so did you guys hear about like the newest Mission Impossible and how they're like I'm not sure what's become of the story since I like read about it like months ago, but like they were planning on blowing up a bridge, like an actual bridge for the movie or something like that.
You know what? I feel like I heard about that.
I haven't heard about that at all.
So like the story was that in Mission Impossible they were gonna shoot a scene in like a bridge, like it's like considered like a historic landmark, and like the movie was trying to blow the bridge up, which when you first hear it like that, it sounds really heinous and bad. But then like when I read more into it, like the people, like the town that like the bridge was located in was actually like super okay with them blowing the bridge up because it was old. It was like unsafe, so they couldn't even.
And they'll rebuild it at the end of this.
Yeah, they'd rebuild a new bridge, and like it would be a good way of like getting some money for the town. So it was like a weird situation where like a bunch of people were like, "How dare you blow this bridge up? It's a historic landmark!" And then like a bunch of people who were like actually near the bridge are just like, "Fucking blow this shit up, dude!
We
like,
hate
I hate
this
that
bridge."
fucking bridge."
Yeah, it's always different when you're at the place, when you like are there every day, like your commute involves this bridge, and you're just like, "Fuck that bridge, blow it up." I've been wanting to blow it up even before you guys wrote it into your script. Real quick to interrupt you, Ian, as soon as you feel like you're got the majority of what's done in the panel, throw that word bubble in so that he can write in his words and I can start the next panel, and then you can start coloring after that, or adding little details. That way we can kind of keep things moving.
Yeah.
Alright, so now, I don't know, if it's too difficult to, like, write in specifically with your mouse, feel free to, like, write in the Discord, and we'll write it in for you. However you want to do it.
There's a text tool that you
I have the text tool already.
Okay.
Perfect.
Just gotta see how you get.
Hidden Pixel Play says, I was just at Disney, and the hologram tech on the Rise of the Resistance ride was mind-blowing. What is Rise of the Resistance? And also, I'd like to kind of hear more about that, because I'm
assuming that's Star Wars related, right?
probably. And tell me about the holograms, because, like, I've never seen any of that in person. I saw Tupac dance around the stage on like YouTube, but that was about all. It's my beginning and end of my experience with holograms. Aside from, like, stuff like Total Recall, but I don't... Where he's like, shoot me, you son of a bitch, and then he's like, ha ha ha, I'm a hologram. What a great movie.
It is.
I might have to go watch Total Recall after this.
I was thinking about that recently. I wanted to watch Total Recall again. The only time the one main application I've seen for hologram tech was a Gorillaz concert, because since the main characters are cartoons, like when they first started doing concerts for, I want to say Demon Days, maybe Plastic Beach, they were using the hologram tech to actually make the characters like appear on stage and things like that. So
that's cool. Yeah, I would love to go to a Gorillaz concert.
Me too.
I would love to go to any concert right now, but instead, I'm stuck inside.
Dude, I was going to concerts like crazy, like at the beginning of this year. Like, I had gone to like 6 concerts by March.
This year, I had the most concerts lined up of any year in my life. They all got canceled. And, oh nice, you muted that. Either you blow your nose very quietly or you muted yourself. Yeah, I know. And then I also had a trip to Costa Rica in January, which is also canceled, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. Hidden Pixel Play says, yeah, it's an immersive Star Wars ride/experience. They have a hologram of Rey right at the start that pretty accurately emulates the classic Star Wars hologram messaging. That's cool. I feel like they have an edge because they have a, like, aesthetic for their holograms that are already, like, good, but also kind of shitty, so they don't have to make it too, like, good. They can just do the little, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
True, yeah.
That's cool. But also all of their windows and character interactions are screens, but it all has a 3D depth perspective without glasses or anything. It was hard to wrap my head around how it worked. That's awesome. I imagine with all like how all technology is, it's only going to get harder to understand as things go on. I use a cell phone every day, but I don't really understand it.
Yeah, I have, like, this fucking thing is crazy, man.
Okay, first panel. I'm not sure how well it shows on the Twitch stream because the text is tiny in this program, but I'll read it. First panel says, I wonder if they have that book about the dude that got all of his followers plastered with just water. I like it.
That's good.
The cross would say otherwise.
I see, it's funny because it kind of makes the place look like a face. Yeah, the text tool with this program is a little funky.
Yeah, we can adjust it a little.
It does get kind of weird.
That's kind of what it is. Okay.
I forget. Does the text tool do center alignment sort of stuff, or is it like strictly?
Kind of. I kind of had to fudge with it a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Okay. Yeah, when the Gorillaz were doing their holograms, it looked a little funky because I felt like the style that they were rendering the 3D Gorillaz characters in wasn't 100% aesthetically pleasing because they were probably still kind of figuring it out. But also because the hologram tech was just like so new, it like looked strange, but it was still impressive like for what it was. And I mean, you know, it's a hard band to.
And if it was entertaining, I think that's the ultimate, or that's the real important detail.
Absolutely. And it's weird because of the nature of the band. Like you can be like, oh, well, that's Damon Albarn singing as 2D, but like they can't just have Damon Albarn out there singing the songs because then it like ruins the illusion, quote unquote, of like they could have anybody playing the bass, like the instruments that aren't vocal, and like you know they make frequent they would like have concerts that were like 100 people, usually behind a screen, I think. But you know it's just like they sort of set themselves up with like a weird challenge with their concerts just because of the format of the band.
Metalocalypse show would be funny too. The same.
Yeah.
Not funny, but it would be cool for the same reasons as a Gorilla show. They kind of, I think they like play behind the scenes while they have mostly like an animated display.
Yeah. Same with the Archies, like you know the sugar bam bam bam.
Oh, they do that? I didn't know that.
That's based on like the
comics.
band was the comic, yeah. That was supposedly the band, like the characters from the comic being the band. Which is weird because if you think about it, they were the original Gorillaz.
I guess I didn't know that about them, but it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We have a very important comment in the chat. I feel like we should all listen in. Want to become famous? Buy followers.
Well, no, use the you know, they have long A's and O's. They've added weird little.
Wanna become famous? Buy followers,
Hold on.
rhymes, and
I got
viewers
this.
on https://clck.ru/r9
Mark says he's got this. Let's hear
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Want to become famous?
Ooh,
Buy follows, primes, and views on bigfollows.com.
See, I should have just done the shortened URL. That's
What are
great
you-
though. I love that voice.
Yeah, what are
answer.
your tools? Because I need that. I need to take advantage of that.
There we go.
Galanuva25 says they're actually a mod on another channel and they got to ban one of those. Which I don't know if we've banned any of those. We should probably, because
Yeah, we don't have many of them, but we definitely haven't banned any of them.
yeah, we have a lot of fun when they pop in because it's always just so it's like we're not worth spamming. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah. You're barking up the wrong tree. Haha, nobody's watching our show. Made you feel like an idiot.
we have like 6 viewers right now, and that's like a red letter day for us. You know?
Yeah,
like
it's like
good.
one out of like 4 shows where we actually have that going on.
Yeah. We're not bitter.
You know, I'm not bitter. Actually, I'm not.
I enjoy our little show.
Yeah. Our viewers that watch our viewers are pretty like, they like to talk to us, so like it makes it fun even if we don't have a lot of them.
Yeah. What song were you singing, Mark? That sounded familiar.
It's bitter from The Rocker.
Oh yeah, that's
The Tom Cruise movie?
No.
The rocker is Dwight. What's his
Rainn
name?
Wilson.
Rainn Wilson.
Oh.
Josh Gad, I forget the kid's name, and Emma Stone.
Oh right, yeah, okay. I've actually seen that movie. Well, let's talk about that movie. What was your guys' opinions?
I haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it.
I thought I really liked that one. I thought the concept was cool. I mean, it kind of it holds with. It's funny because it reminds me of my uncle. My uncle is a drummer and would like legit, if he could, come and play like with people my age. Like, and I mean, he's already offered. I actually played with him we did one gig back when I was playing with him. We played at Karen's when I was still working there. But yeah, I played bass for his band. But he always said that he would come and play bass or play drums for me if we ever needed a drummer. But I mean, yeah, it's a good little movie about just a guy didn't want to grow up and wanted to continue playing drums and rocking and shit.
I think we can all sympathize with that.
Yeah, found a couple young kids who played and they were looking for a drummer and took them where they needed to go.
Yeah. I don't remember too much about that movie. I just remember it's one of those things, like my main complaint with the movie, like I remember thinking like this is fine. Like I wasn't like wowed one way or another, but you know it could have been a much worse movie than it was. I remember them describing like they tried to replace Rainn Wilson's character with like another like sort of like young kid drummer like the record company did.
Yep.
And I remember them saying like he looks like a Target commercial or something like along those lines, which I thought was a funny line. My main complaint about that movie, and it's not even so much against the movie as it is the expectation the movie sets up, which is a lot of movies do this, where it's like they have a like if it's a musical movie, like there's those movies about bands, and then someone's like, yo, your band rocks, dude. Like, you're gonna play at, like, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I think happens. But, like...
Yeah, I forget exactly what.
But also, like, in that movie, like, I was listening to the songs, and I was like, these aren't bad songs, but also, like, they're not, like, opening for a band at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame good. But, like, the movie sets up that expectation that you're supposed to be like, these songs fucking rock, dude. Which just like always strikes me as a weird thing because like you have to like really either have amazing fucking music for me to like buy into the fact that people are like as amped about these songs as everyone is, or it's just not gonna feel like a weird disconnect. Like
you have to suspend your disbelief or something. It's just like
yeah, it's like so in the Coen Brothers movie Inside Llewyn Davis, like he's like Oscar Isaac plays like this guy who was in a blue like it's like folk music from like the 60s, like right before Bob Dylan first popped off. And like in the whole movie is like he plays like a couple songs and like they're really nice sounding songs, really beautiful. His voice is like nice and gravelly and really lends itself a good quality to his songs. And then like every time in that movie he plays a song for somebody, they're like, that song fucking sucked, dude. That was shit. Get out of my house or something like that. So it's funny because like in that movie you get to just like enjoy the music his character sings without the expectation that like
that's a nice way to do it, yeah.
Like yeah, like everyone's not shitting their pants going like, oh my god, this is the best song. Like they're like either like tepid on it or like they just don't give a shit, which is like it lets you enjoy the music for the music, whereas like in the rocker, like I thought the songs were fine, but then like you know the record company was like, dude, you guys are gonna be the next like Led Zeppelin or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like they're fine. I don't hate the song, but like come on, like you gotta like really fucking blow my socks off with this music if you're gonna like have the ancillary characters like react like this.
Yeah.
So
That's fair.
it's like a hard sort of like line to straddle with that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're dealing with when you're dealing with movies and stuff like that, where the whole premise is for them to become this amazing band and stuff like that, you're really not like wanting to put great music into something like that that's not really gonna have any potential to go anywhere other than that specific movie.
The only ones that I can see like examples of that actually working that way is like Spinal Tap, like where those songs are actually still like regarded as decent songs, even though it was a parody about a rock band.
I mean, can you really like and the best part is like those songs are also fucking hilarious. Like Tonight I'm Gonna Rock You Tonight, like a redundant song title is just so good.
Yeah, Christopher Guest and those guys, clever.
Yeah. Good stuff. But so yeah, like it's weird. Like you said, Mark. You know, you're said like for a movie like The Rocker, they probably weren't gonna like book some amazing music talent because it's kind of like a just a jokey comedy with Rainn Wilson in it. But like at the same time, the plot is like people fucking losing their shit, over this band that is making these songs, and it's just there's got to be a way to tread that fine line where
Gotta be a better way.
there's gotta be a better way. Because otherwise there's just that huge and it's not even like that the songs were bad, it just might not have been my flavor, but I like music, so I feel like I've got a fairly open mind when it comes to like songs of different genres and things like that. At least I hope so. So like when people like when the record executive is just like, dude, you guys like we're gonna shoot a music video for this song, I was just kind of like going like, would they get that music video? But like I mean that was my only complaint. Otherwise like I don't remember too much about the movie. I remember laughing at the jokes. That was my big takeaway from the movie though, and that's just kind of a flaw that a lot of movies fall into. Is like
It's a hard one to avoid if you're writing that type of movie.
yeah,
Because there's nothing. Even if they did really make some like jamming like things, like it's not gonna appeal to every person.
exactly, yeah, and it's just like you're setting yourself up with a weird device in your plot if the band is like super well received, and like because then you all of a sudden like if you're gonna like feature their music, then you gotta like have the music be like fucking popping, or it's just gonna be that weird disconnect.
Yeah, I never thought about that before, but it's true. I guess when I watch that type of stuff, I just kind of accept like, all right, I'm accepting the rules they're giving me to enjoy this movie. Like, in this world, everybody loves this stuff, so I'm just like, okay,
Yeah,
I can suspend my disbelief and move on from there.
that's fair. And also
But
to be
I
fair,
also
like
agree with what you're saying.
to be fair for the movie, the premise of the movie, like how they first pop off, is like they get popular because they're trying to like record their song, and they like the drummer Rainn Wilson's character is like not wearing clothes or something when they're doing the rehearsal, and then that somehow gets on YouTube. So like in the movie's defense, the plot does begin when like at first the music is not taken seriously because it's like attached to like a viral fail or something like that, and then people will just kind of watch the video and are like, I actually enjoyed that song, and then that's how the band starts gaining in popularity. So I think that's actually like they handled that part, I thought, well. I think that's like actually like a legitimate way that like a band might find themselves all of a sudden finding all this fame and fortune, is like like a goofy video that also people are just kind of like, no, but I dig the music too,
Right. Also, Ian, you are up for the next panel.
I sure am. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Craig Christ.
I had to throw the Necronomicon in there. Me and my girlfriend just finished binging all of the Evil Dead stuff.
Nice.
And
I like
that was fun.
I like
The only thing we haven't watched is the newest one because I don't think she'd be able. She's not a fan of like actually gory or scary things, and the new one is pretty disgusting. Like even me, who's like desensitized, the 20 whatever it was, 14 one or whatever it came out. That one's
Yeah.
pretty nasty.
Yeah, they were really going for the. Like,
They were trying to do what the first Evil Dead did and like change the game, but like today that's hard to do. This was a post-Saw world that they tried to gross people out the most they've ever been grossed out.
Yeah, it's hard to do that after Saw. Which is also funny because the first Saw movie, not even gory.
No, and then it tried to like one-up itself over and over, where it was just like, what's the most disgusting thing we can put on film that people pay to see?
They actually literally said that in an interview. I remember reading it, like watching an interview with like I think Eli Roth or something like that, and they were like, "Yeah, we're in the competition with the guys from Hostel. Like, we'll be on the phone with them, just like, well, guess what? We have this." And we're
Hostel
like,
is nasty.
yeah,
That was a gross movie. TLV 2020 says, are you going to do Jackbox again? I caught you guys a while ago playing Patently Stupid, and that was the best I've ever seen that game played. You guys are talented. Hey, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, now that you gave us such a raving review, we're obviously going to do it again.
Kinda
I
Yeah.
want in.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
in. You're in.
absolutely, yeah.
For
Anyone
sure.
else who is, a friend of ours who, we have a Discord channel. We'll get together a team to play some Jack and Box.
Zach, you're in. Yeah, maybe we'll do it sooner rather than later. That's a good suggestion. We have the newest one, and there's some really good games on there too. So.
And if you guys need, I own all of them, so I don't mind hosting if you
Cool.
guys need.
Yeah, I think I have them all as well, but we're covered regardless, so that's,
Oh,
that's
There
good
you go.
shit.
Cool.
All right, Ian, get that third panel going.
I'm trying to think like
You
get a
gotta
good
move.
setup for like the next one. I also like the Stephen Lynch reference, by the way. and
No
the-
pressure. I mean, I'm
I
stuck
figured-
with the
I figured you would
punchline,
get
so
that.
yeah, I got that as well.
Craig Christ. Oh.
I won't name names, but one time, so this was years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I was at a Christmas party, a work Christmas party. A person hosted it, one of our coworkers. Coworker who hosted it is a fairly religious person. I'll just leave it at that. Then we had one of our back of house dudes, because I work at a restaurant. One of the cooks, he brought his guitar and he was playing some songs for people, and then he read the room wrong and decided to do Craig Christ, which he did. He nailed it, but he finished that song and a fight erupted, and I was the only person who's, because everybody knew how the person who owned the house and was throwing the party was and how they'd feel about it. I think I was the only person in the room who stood up and applauded as everybody was just like awkwardly like waiting for the fallout.
Hilarious.
But he nailed it. But it was a sight to be seen. It was, and then he immediately left because he was like, "Oh fuck! Like I did not mean to do that." And I
Just
felt bad
assumed
for
he
him
was
because he
right.
nailed it. But yeah, it didn't go over well. It was not well received by the majority of the crowd. I thought it was great, but you know.
You know, if your God was all powerful and stuff, you'd think he'd have a sense of humor. Is all I'm saying.
I'm sure he does, but this person did not. So there it was. And
How do you guys like my marijuana cross?
oh, I didn't realize that's what it was. That's good.
Craig Christ. That's
It was
not
just-
even. I mean, yeah,
it was-
I guess it
It was
is.
interesting to observe. It was great. It felt like watching Eric Andre or like something like that. It was just like the moment as the song was going, I'm like, you could feel the tension in the room just rising. And the guy playing the song was the only person unaware of the tension, which was made it even better.
That's great.
He's like, hey, I'm just like doing this thing that people are gonna love, and everybody in the room knew he was like back of the house, so he didn't know this one person that was going to have a bad reaction as well as the rest of us did, and we're all just like staring at her, waiting for it to go down, and then it did, and I feel bad for him, but it was. Boy, you all would have loved to be there. Let me just put it that way.
I wish I was there.
Everyone knows Jesus.
Oh, here, let me turn off
God
that.
won't heal late. I am Jesus' brother. Craig is my name. Jesus was Prince of Peace. Jesus is the Lamb. Jesus is the Son of God. But Craig don't give a damn. Because when Craig's inside, we'll party all damn night. I don't turn water into wine, but in a Coors Light. I'm not my brother, I know. Don't walk on H2O, but I got high to punish shit that mean Judas go. I'm fucking Craig. But I'm Craig. Craig Christ. I hang out with lepers, Barabbas and Sodomy. Jesus' friends are called apostles. Those dudes are totally gay. Jesus performs miracles from Galilee to Rome. But it would be a miracle if he brought a freaking lady home. Because while Jesus is praying, frickin' Craig is laying. Every lady in the testament, you know what I'm saying? I won't die for your sins like my famous kin. But if you got a little sister, then there's room on this sin. It's fucking Craig. It's fucking Craig. Great Christ. Great Christ. Jesus was our mother's fave. All love to him she gave. There's no sibling rivalry when he's nailed to that tree. Now the question for you is not what would Jesus do, but where will you be when the Craig machine come partying through? And if the Lord would allow, you gotta ask yourself how and who and why and when and where is your Messiah? Now it's fucking Craig. It's fucking Craig. Craig Christ. Craig Christ. I'm fucking Craig.
Woo! Wow. You're the inaugural first musical guest we've had on the show, and
True.
honored to have you. That was great. Well
Thank you
done.
very much for that lovely rendition.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, because I have everything turned up so loud, I'm like, I don't know how loud it is for you guys, so I didn't want to like go full Stephen Lynch.
yeah. I think
Hold on a second.
you nailed it. That was good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that
Yeah.
song.
That's
It's
awesome.
nice to have somebody else sing on the stream who isn't me, just like, just singing dumb, randomly connected lyrics to what we've been talking about.
I actually
Good
saw Stephen Lynch once in GR. He came out here. It's a good show.
I saw Stephen Lynch for his it was, what tour was it? For Tattoo.
Oh, cool.
Or no, sorry, Lion. Lion is the name of the album.
Huh. Nice.
I have honestly not listened. I haven't had a chance to check out any of his albums after Craig Machine, actually, but he's probably on Spotify, right? Like,
Yeah, he is. After Craig Machine, you got Three Balloons and Lion, and then you put out another one called Mild Heart in 2019. I haven't heard that one yet. Lion was in 2012. Lion is good.
interesting.
Lion has some really interesting stuff on it.
And
But
then,
I have the Live at El Rey DVD.
oh, nice. He was like the lead character in a stage show for a while, wasn't he? Wasn't he like in?
Yeah, he was the wedding singer. He did
That's right.
He did Broadway's Wedding Singer. I want to say it ran for about a year.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that.
That's cool. Good for him though. Like that must have been like a nice change of pace for him to like, get a chance to do something a little different.
Yeah, I think I got to see a little bit of I think I saw just a little bit, a couple videos of it, and he was pretty good. I mean, obviously, you think wedding singing, you think Adam Sandler right away, but
Yeah.
he did a good job of like capturing like the Adam Sandler without it being too much. And if you really kind of think really deep into like Stephen Lynch and Adam Sandler, they're quite similar.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
Like,
can't think of many people that would fill the shoes as well.
Yeah. They can both hit those high notes. They can both, they both are comedy singers or have dabbled in singing comedy.
Mark, Ian, are you going to add anything else before that he should see before he puts some words into that panel?
Just imagine a lot of tie-dye.
Okay. Some
Gotcha.
trippy effects that are going to happen. Robin Oster says, Soul Food and Wonder Bread reunion show 2021.
Yes.
All right, you've heard it here first, folks.
That's right, guys. Soul Food and Wonder Bread.
Broke the news.
Tour. You've heard it here first.
It's exclusive.
You've heard it here first.
I like that you punished yourself there for.
I have a tendency.
Bad!
It's like a bad habit, but like if I like find myself really getting caught up on a sentence, I will like slap myself. And that hurt actually when I did that, but it gets me reset. But like I've done that at work at my bank.
People
So
like,
like
oh
at
no.
one time I was just like caught in a sentence.
This guy has demons.
And the guy was just like, "Did you just hit yourself?" And I was like, "Let's move past it, okay? I'm trying to sell you a loan, okay? So do you want the mortgage or not?"
If you say no, I will hit myself even harder.
That's right. When you look, this is what you see now.
I'm a
Imagine
bad
I do
boy.
myself.
I'm a
That's what I'm
bad
talking
boy.
about. damn it, I'm gonna burn a cigarette on myself. Ah, you don't deserve happiness. So, yeah, it's a slippery slope when you start slapping yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta be real careful.
It's a slappery slope.
Oh shit! Look what you've done.
I did it, folks.
Look what you've done. You've made a fool of everyone.
I'm noticing now I have no levels on my music in the background, so it's possible that
We've just been sitting here in
it's silence the whole time, and there's a good chance of that.
Yeah,
I'll have to-
I remastered
Not
all
the
of my
worst.
songs.
Not the well. Don't feel too bad because I haven't even uploaded the new ones yet, anyway. So.
Okay.
It's a good chance that that's happening right now. I'll have to mess with it later, but
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Let me listen to the stream real quick. I'll be.
oh boy.
No, I can hear the song. The song that you're hearing right now is titled "Ghost Sex."
Okay.
parentheses, Sex
So-
with ghosts. That's based on. I was showing Austin this song back when I first made it,
Okay.
and he was like, "This is the song that like Bruce Willis is like a ghost and he's having sex with his wife too." And I was just like, "What the fuck?"
I love the backstories. Unfortunately, it's just labeled track 10 on my end.
But yeah, I just recently like when I remastered everything, I finally gave them all names.
Okay, well I'm glad they can hear it, but I don't have levels, so I don't know if it's too loud or anything. But cool.
No, it's
Everybody-
like
I mean, I can provide the music for you guys for the rest of the day. You just like I mean, I mean, Brandy, you don't really know much about me. Ian knows a little bit. I am kind of a human jukebox. Like you can literally throw a song at me and I'll be like, give me a minute, let me take a listen to it, let me see what it sounds like, and then I can usually sight read it from there.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no. You can play as little or as much as you would like on the show. Just give me a heads up so I can turn off the other music and everybody can hear you in all your glory.
All right, well, what do you want to hear? So you
Oh, boy.
Next
That's
you can even get like an idea, the genre
tough one.
wise or something like that, and I can kind of mess around. I mean,
Do you have any ideas
do you
off the
think?
bat, Ian? I'm
Jukebox Hero, because you're a jukebox and you're our hero.
That's
that-
true. It's fitting. It's your theme song.
I've not honestly played that in a while. I think I randomly did play that one day though.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low. It was it was a sold out show. All right, let's see what we got
All
here.
right, let's see what we got. So let's throw some chords in here. No capo.
That'd be a good name for a band, no capo.
Yeah. But then you could never use one.
Standing in the rain with his head hung low. Couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Heard the roar of the crowd. Now like, I gotta find it. Let's see, cause you sure there's no people on this? I don't like this version. It sounds weird. All right, here we go. So someone did it this way. That's what it was. Okay, someone hung on the E, and it wasn't supposed to.
How dare they?
Standing in the rain with his head hung low. Couldn't get a ticket. It was a sold out show. Heard the roar of the crowd. He could picture the scene. Put his ear to the wall. And like a distant scream, he had one guitar. Just blew him away. And stars in his eyes. And the very next day, bought a beat up 6-string from a secondhand store. Didn't know how to play it, but he knew for sure. And that one guitar felt good in his hands. Didn't take long to understand. Just one guitar, some way down low. One-way ticket, only one way to go. So he started rocking, he ain't never gonna stop. Gotta keep on rocking. Someday gonna make it to the top and be a jukebox hero. The stars in his eyes. Be a jukebox hero. Took one guitar. Jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes. Be a jukebox hero. It come alive tonight. In a town without a name, in a heavy downpour, thought he cast his own shadow by the backstage door. And like a trip through the past, that day in the rain, and one guitar made his whole life change. Now he needs to keep on rocking. Ain't never gonna stop. Needs to keep on rocking. Then gonna make it to the top and be a jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes. He's a jukebox hero. The stars in his eyes, yeah. Jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes. Be a jukebox hero. He come alive tonight. Now he needs to keep on rocking, and he just can't stop. Needs to keep on rocking. Someday gonna make it to the top and be a jukebox hero. Got stars in his eyes. A jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes, yeah. Jukebox hero. Stars in his eyes. Jukebox hero. Jukebox hero. He's got stars in his eyes. Jukebox hero. He's got stars in his eyes.
Woo!
Sorry.
What is going on? I
That was
see
awesome.
fire going down.
Well
I was
done.
curious because I heard my door open and then the light went off. and
That
I
was
like,
great.
What was happening? But I was. I'm gonna wait till he's in his room so that he can hear me say this. But, there's the door. Well, first of all, thank you so much for that lovely
That was
rendition
awesome.
of Jukebox Hero.
I was like, you know what? It gets high and I can't hit that, so we're gonna try it in a couple
Nailed
times
it.
and then we're gonna take it down.
I thought you did good. I'm always jealous. Like, I don't know if it's like just a trope in movies, or if it's a thing where like that's like a real thing that bands can do. But like, you know those movies where like there's a band playing and then someone's just like, "Hey, can you play this song? Put it in a G minor," and then like all of a sudden the band's just like, "Oh yeah, we fucking got this."
They're always like, I'm gonna start off fast and work it down slow. Just follow my lead. And then they
Right.
just start and everybody knows everything and they're singing along. I think Dewey Cox, that they nailed it the most, like that whole
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Walk
All right,
hard.
give me a blues riff in B major and
Yeah.
watch me for the changes.
Exactly. and
And,
then they're all
Greg, I
singing
need-
along with them.
Greg, I need you to take that bass for a walk.
Yeah, that's always funny. But who knows? Maybe some people could actually do something similar to that, like short of knowing the words to the song.
I feel like when it actually happens, it's like jazz. They have like jazz standards, you know, where it's like songs that everyone who knows jazz at least knows how to play. But like, yeah, I don't know, like if I were to like I've always wanted to do a scene in a movie where like the dude walks up and he's just like, "Hey, I need you guys to play blip 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 in a D and put it in D," and they're just like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I've never heard that song before. Get the fuck off the stage, asshole!" Like, just because like that just strikes me as the more realistic scenario. But you know,
All right,
there's also
so
people like Mark who specialize in trying to learn a whole bunch of songs to be able to be a human jukebox.
it's awesome. I always am especially impressed by people who can just like play a song without any, without much practice. They just kind of hear a song and they can figure out how to play it pretty quickly. It's like special. You have to have a special ear for that, I think.
Yeah. I was watching this. There's like a Japanese game show that Paul Gilbert, he's the guy who taught Buckethead to play guitar, and I don't know much else about what he's done, but he's released a bunch of instructional videos on guitar and stuff like that. But he also speaks fluent Japanese, and so like he was on this Japanese game show with this other like guitarist from Japan, and like the name of the game was they would play a riff from a song, and then the other guy would name the song, and then they'd both just jam out to that song for like 30 seconds before the guy would then like pick another riff. And I was just like, that sounds like the funnest fucking show ever.
It's awesome. So I'd say we're getting to the end of the show. We went a little bit over, but thanks for hanging out with us, Mark. We appreciate it. Thanks for playing some songs. How would you feel about playing us out with one last song?
I got the perfect one. Aaron gave me a good.
Okay, yeah, that's the one I was gonna suggest. Yeah.
You
perfect.
guys will really like this one. It's a very
Let's do
different
it.
one for me. It's a nice little country ditty.
It's a golden oldie little ditty.
I get to do some fun stuff in it. Yeah, we're just gonna use this pick. That'll work.
Ian, you cool with me saving it now?
All right.
I'm cool with that. We have wait. Let me just real quick. I forgot to color the pages in. But we have the finished comic here real quick
Yeah.
before you break into song.
Oh yeah.
Just review our lovely collaborative effort, everybody.
I dig it. I wasn't sure if there was gonna be another whatchamacallit. I was trying to think of like what could I put.
I would have left it open for you, but it just felt like this was a good ending.
No,
to it.
that's perfect. Because I was like, I was like, do I know any songs that Jimi Hendrix covered and not wrote? And
Oh
then I
yeah,
could,
all on the
like,
Watchtower.
No, I think he wrote that actually.
That's a Bob Dylan song.
So that was the one I was thinking of. I wasn't sure if Bob Dylan wrote that or if Jimmy wrote
Sometimes I am
and
unsure
I was
of
literally
who's
gonna
covering.
say, I guess I shouldn't have picked All Along the Watchtower since that wasn't written by Jimmy.
Well, after Jimmy played it, Bob Dylan said that it was his song now because he did such a great.
Gallanuva says Bob wrote it for Jimmy, I think.
Well, but there is actually a Bob Dylan version of that song. It sounds wildly different than the Jimi Hendrix version.
Yeah,
Jimi
I've heard
Hendrix-
both.
Yeah.
I just didn't know who was first. Also, sorry, Mark, I didn't mean to jump in the right as you were about to start and be like, hey, let me interject. I'll let you go now.
Oh no, you're good. All right, you guys ready for me to play us out?
Yes.
I sure am.
All right, here we go. Some boondocks up in here. Let's hope that the auto scroll. Actually, no. Let's fuck it. I'll make it work. I feel no shame. I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the boondocks. One thing I know, no matter where I go, I keep my heart and soul in the boondocks. And I can feel that
Whoa.
muddy water running through my veins. And I can hear that lullaby of a midnight train. Shit. And it sings to me and it sounds familiar. I feel no shame. I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the boondocks. One thing I know, no matter where I go, I keep my heart and soul in the boondocks. I can taste that honeysuckle and it's still so sweet. When it grows wild on the banks down in Old Camp Creek, it calls to me like a warm wind blowing. I feel no shame. I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the boondocks. One thing I know, no matter where I go, I keep my heart and soul in the boondocks. It's where I learned about living. It's It's where I learned about love. It's where I learned about working hard and having a little was just enough. It's where I learned about Jesus and knowing where I stand. You can take it or leave it. This is me. This is who I am. Give me a tin roof, front porch, and a gravel road. That's home to me. Feels like home to me. Oh, I feel no shame. I'm proud of where I came from. I was born and raised in the boondocks. One thing I know, no matter where I go, I keep my heart and soul in the boondocks. I keep my heart and soul in the boondocks. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the down in the boondocks. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing in the down in the boondocks. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning. You get a line, I get a pole. We'll go fishing down the crawfish hole. 5-cup poker on a Saturday night. Church on Sunday morning.
Woo! Good work. That was awesome.
There we go.
We're going to talk later about how you achieve the harmonics, not because I have any musical talent, but because I just want to yell things into my microphone and hear it do that. That's all.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
This pedal's great. I mean, I could talk to you guys with it. It
I
gives
want
me
that.
a high and a low. So, and it right now it's really not picking up anything because it's going to sound really muddy because it's not.
I am Legion.
But if I play something with it, so let's do oh yeah, oh my, I don't give a fuck about a DUI. You could take away my license, but you can't take away my pride. Singing, oh yeah, oh my, I'ma keep drinking till the day I die, 'cause 2 wheels is the way I ride.
That's awesome.
Fancy.
That seems very fun,
Yeah.
and I want
Yeah, so
that.
it's a,
I want the power.
This is the Boss acoustic singer, the VE8 acoustic singer.
Okay, cool.
So that's what it does. Hidden Pixel was wondering. But
I
yeah,
was
it
wondering.
has it does the harmonies, it does loops, and I can even set it so if you can it'll auto catch the key, but I can also set it to a hybrid where I can pick the key that I want it to do the harmonies in, which is really cool. That I kind of like.
That's awesome.
Technology, am I right, everybody? Like, I mean, actually, pedals have been around for a while, but still, it's cool that you can like connect it so it's just immediately, recording into the computer and for streaming and things like that too.
Yeah.
All the USB plug and play stuff.
That was awesome. On that note, thank you, Mark, so much for being on the show. It was really fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for playing some music for us as well. I wasn't expecting that, but that was really cool. I like
Listen,
that
I
a
will
lot.
come and play music for you guys on air anytime.
Okay.
You guys are just like, listen, we don't want to play like that, some shitty guy's music in the background.
Yeah, that guy's music sucks.
Wait, what? Hold on. Huh?
But yeah, nah. If you ever just want like just music shit in the background, hit me up. Like, send me a playlist.
Yeah.
A couple songs and whatnot, or a chunk of songs, and I'll just kind of hang out, play songs in the background and whatnot, and just kind of let it be.
Cool.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug before we go off the air?
If you guys want to see me play some more music sometime, you can find me on Twitch, Dr. Soundcheck. You can find me on D Live. I believe it's also Dr. Soundcheck right now. I think I kept it both Soundcheck. You can find me on Twitter at Dr. Spellcheck. But yeah, I mean, Spellcheck's great because if you guys are watching me try to type shit in on these, I was spelling everything wrong because I type too fast and I have fat fingers.
You know, this is an
learned
art
that
stream. It's not about knowing how to spell things.
Get out of here with your English and law degrees and your 6 degrees of separation and your Kelvin. Just,
Exactly.
get out of here.
How about you, Ian? Anything you'd like to plug?
I'd like to plug you should watch DrawBomb every Monday at 8
Oh, yeah, I love
p.m.
that show.
Eastern Standard Time. You might have heard of it. I don't know. You should check it out though. We stream every Monday at 8 p.m. unless like somebody's sick or something like that. I mean, aside from that, I haven't done shit lately. Check out our Discord. We have a link down below.
Yes. Join
Definitely
that.
check that out.
The more people that join, the more fun it will be. Follow this channel as well. If you liked what you saw, sure, it won't be as good as this every time, but that's no reason to not join us. It might be this good, you know. Don't sell us short.
Some Jackbox later too. You never know.
There's a very good chance of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody in the chat. Thanks again, Mark. That was awesome. We'll have you back for sure if you would like.
I would love that. This was a good time.
Cool. Thanks.
Good night for me to kind of just chill out and hang out with people.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, Ravenmaster cheered us with 24 bits. Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. He subscribed too. We never actually did end up drawing that picture for
Well,
him, but-
ring check. Show up one of our future episodes, and we will draw whatever you'd like on the air.
That's right. You earned it.
You did.
Well, we earned it. You gave it to
We
him.
we
You
earned
got
it. You paid us, and now we want to pay you back.
That's right.
All right. So let's say that on that note, that's the end of the show.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.